Oh shit! I just sprayed your mic with my beer. I'm sorry.
See it. Yeah, there.
Okay, hello and welcome to Houston. We have a podcast. Sorry, we've been away for a while, but we're back and just in time to talk about everyone's favorite mainstream movie, Avengers Endgame.
Woo!
Yeah. So today we have a returning guest and a new one. Everyone give a warm welcome. Everyone in the airwaves, give a warm welcome to Syed. Yay! Oh, I forgot to mention we're recording this in front of a full studio audience today. So shout out to Karen. And then our returning guest is Aaron, who I'm trying to think of a fond memory you have from our podcast.
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. Oh yeah, he pitched a reimagining of The Wizard of Oz.
Lord. Yes.
Starring Lord as Dorothy.
Also, first time we did a podcast, somebody squirted the beer into his mic.
Yeah, fuck!
So,
Yep.
Episode 2 coming from a long time ago.
Full circle.
And then as always, we have our host, Carson, fearless leader, and myself, Paulo. But forget all that. Let's get into getting to know Syed, our newest guest. So why don't you tell us a movie that represents you and a movie character that represents you or that you just really love?
Well, my favorite movies have got to be Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings trilogies have got to be my favorite. Now, if I had to choose a character that I had the fondest love for, I would have to say Samwise Gamgee. I mean, the guy just did everything he could for his friends. You know, he really put himself beneath his friends, and I just like that. And and those are definitely my favorite movies. I even got to go to the set Hobbiton when I was in New Zealand. So that really solidified my love for that movie. So
did you say that you are like Samwise, or that you aspire to be like Samwise?
I think I would aspire. Like, I hope that I would do like what I could for my friends if it ever came down to it. Just understanding what they're going through and just helping them out in any way I can is something I think everybody would want to aspire to. But yeah, that's got to be the character that I most aspire to.
He's definitely the Kawhi Leonard of the
100%.
of his trio.
He
of,
lily
Frodo
put the team on his back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Share the load. Cool. So let's get things started with what's our first thing?
Everyone talking about it?
Oh yeah, sorry. What has everyone seen recently? So you can go last, Syed. Let's start with Carson.
So I saw a lot of bad movies this month. I'll save my opinion on Endgame, but a movie that I watched last night that I really enjoyed was Brightburn, which I originally thought was directed by James Gunn, but I guess it's just produced by James Gunn.
Oh.
For those unfamiliar with the movie, it's essentially what if Superman as a kid was evil instead of like representing ethics and everything. So it's a straight up horror movie, but it's a satire of superhero movies, but a satire without humor. Here's an example.
Interesting.
So one of the opening scenes of Batman vs. Superman, Superman is going down to like a terrorist situation, and there's somebody who's holding Lois Lane hostage, and then I don't know if you guys remember the scene, but she kind of loosens her grip, and then Superman just kind of comes through and like hits the guy really hard.
Yeah.
The assumption is like when you're flying that fast, that much force, you
Would
killing
killing that person.
right? And it's like,
yeah.
but they leave it purposely vague as like, oh, maybe he just got knocked unconscious. They're not straight up saying Superman just murdered somebody.
Physics should have killed that person.
In this movie, it's a shot in the trailer that there's the kid's going ape shit in the house because he's like Superman but evil.
Was there like a sheriff?
Yeah, so the sheriff, he's walking up, and you can kind of see this from inside the house, but he's walking up to the front door, and he's like, oh man, I'm staying in front of your house. And then you see like the kid fly through the air and like whoosh, like take him out of the screen.
Wait, is it still the same origin story? Like,
100% same origin story, family in like Kansas.
kind of adopted
Yeah.
him, and then okay.
So
But anyway, in this version of the movie, when the sheriff gets hit by the kid flying through the air, the camera pans left, and you see his gets just obliterated all over the line. Because that's actually what would happen with that much.
Oh, yeah.
force.
Okay.
Writing this shit down.
I love
So,
this.
it's a straight up horror movie. Like, if you don't like horror, you might not like it. But if you've watched a lot of superhero movies and like, it's not like a Rogue One type reference where it takes you out of the movie completely.
Yeah.
Like, it does it straight up, but you can tell it's homaging existing super
Nice.
movies specifically. So, 100% recommend.
I feel like Batman versus Superman opened the door to that because Batman was just straight up stabbing people in the face.
So there was talk for a long time about the adaptation of a comic book called Nemesis, which the premise was essentially what if Batman was the Joker? Of like, what if somebody had this much money but was an asshole like the Joker and just wanted chaos? And they've never adapted it, but maybe this movie will open up that.
So what if Batman was Lex Luthor?
No, it's like, what if Batman just wanted to murder everyone for no reason?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like,
yeah.
Worse.
Yeah, worse.
Right. Sorry. Aaron, what have you seen recently?
Yeah, so I recently saw the movie See You Yesterday. It's a recent release on Netflix. Netflix original. Not too sure who the director was, but it was executive produced by Spike Lee. Cast pretty random. It's a time travel based movie, which is kind of why I watched it explicitly for this podcast, since we're going to be talking about Avengers and all that time travel stuff. But pretty much the premise is you have two urban youth dead set in New York, current day New York, and they're working on a prototype to create a time machine. And essentially, the movie kind of just seems like a regular time travel movie, and then you see the female character's older brother get gunned down by cops. So we start talking about different themes about the status of blacks in America and all that kind of shit, and all the negativity going around that. So this movie kind of tackles the idea of time travel, and the whole goal is to essentially save the older brother from getting gunned down by the police. I really liked their interpretation of time travel. It's very different from what we typically have seen. It's not like Back to the Future where they set a specific time coordinate, they show up, and then they're just there until they choose when to leave. The way they created it is they have two backpacks strapped to themselves, they pick their time, and then they have a certain window to make changes within that specific time frame. So let's say something happened yesterday. So I have some time to be like, all right, I'm gonna try to avoid just hitting that desk again yesterday, just like what happened. So I'm gonna pick in my coordinates, and then you yourself get transported in the exact same location that you are. So if I'm in an alleyway, and then I use the time machine, I get put back in that same alleyway. So regardless of where you are, you're gonna have two of yourselves there. But the difference between this is they all okay, so sorry, I'm getting a little bit confused. but what's happening is they fail. They fail a couple times to save the brother. So what happens is you have this concept where they're trying to go to the same spot in time. So their selves start stacking.
There's like 50 of them in the alley.
Initially, that's kind of how it was, where they're just like, holy shit, now we have to think about, okay, our original selves from that specific time when the brother got killed, the first time we tried to save him, the second time they tried to save him. So they start talking about different routes. You know what I mean? So to avoid each other, because you're not supposed to see yourself, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool in the sense that it's very single serving. All right, I have this one chance. I'm going to be in this little area for 10 minutes. Let's see what I can do. All right, so it was really cool up until then, and then the movie goes sideways, a different character gets killed, so now they're trying to save that character. So just all these different iterations of that specific hour, right? The movie kind of fucks up at the end where you don't really get a resolution.
Spoiler alert.
I'm saying you guys should watch it. It's really cool.
I feel like I just did. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna fuck.
Yeah.
So just watch it anyways. Like the time travel concept is cool enough for me. I'd watch it again just based on that.
Cool.
It was a very smart way of telling it.
Cool. I'm gonna be completely useless, and because I haven't seen anything good recently, I rewatched Green Lantern.
Out of all movies.
Yeah, I
what
mean,
the fuck?
It just popped up on Netflix, and I was like,
Reynolds is still trying to forget that shit.
yeah, I know. I was doing chores, and I needed noise in the background. And so if anyone is curious, it's just as bad as when you first saw it. And the only serious point I'll make about it is that I think it's one of the reasons why it's so bad is that when you listen, or like when you're listening to what's happening, and you feel like it could have been good if they had not done anything that they did.
Subversion, classic.
It could have been
subversion.
better if they didn't release it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
No, like the idea, like Green Lantern as an idea,
Green Lantern is cool.
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
They just really, really fucked it up. Yeah, that would it.
Cool, man.
I told you I was gonna be useless today.
Do you think it's Ryan Reynolds' fault? Not for the whole thing, but do you think he could be cast as Green Lantern in a movie and do well?
No.
I think he could.
I don't think so.
Why not?
He's no Hal Jordan.
Oh, just like you don't think he
Yeah, like,
resonates with the character.
He doesn't resonate whatsoever with the character. Like, they have completely different personality traits.
Oh, I mean, I guess because we know how Ryan Reynolds is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Even
who
Ryan
would
Reynolds.
you recast?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. I never thought that far down.
Oh, okay, true.
Robert Pattinson.
Yo,
For every role.
Anyways, enough of that nonsense. Syed, what have you seen recently?
I've seen a movie called Blade of the Immortal. Before we started the podcast, I was talking about samurai movies. I think they're really dope. And now with special effects, they can be pretty visually engaging. So yeah, Blade of the Immortal was really, really dope. And that director, who we couldn't remember the name of, was Takashi Miike.
Yeah.
Just checked on my phone. So yeah, really, really cool movie. And it goes down pretty much as you would think.
what else did he do? That name
Takashi
sounds-
Miike? He's
is that
done...
like Zatoichi
A
and
lot
shit
of
like
like
that.
Hong Kong over-the-top action movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and some. I think he's Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese. So yeah, and he's done another movie which is a really good movie called 13 Assassins, which I was talking about.
Gotcha.
Another samurai movie, which is a remake of, which I haven't seen the old one, but anyways, Blade of the Immortal goes down pretty much as you would think, just a single warrior who's, you guessed it, immortal, and he protects this little girl, and it's pretty bloody.
Is it
and
like
it's really cool?
Is it kind of campy? Because I think I've seen the trailer for this.
It's not as campy as you would think. It's more just like
I think I'm confusing with
fantasy
the
in a
Immortals.
way. It has like the dark kind of sci-fi fantasy edge to it.
Oh, okay.
But it's still very much grounded in like suspense and action.
Okay, it's
Pure-
definitely not what I was thinking of.
Yeah. It's a little bit more serious, but yeah, well done. I think the actors are pretty good, and it was a fun movie.
So definitely watch that. instead
Oh,
of Green
definitely, if you're into-
Green Lantern.
Oh, 100%.
So I guess most of us were talking about movies that we liked that we saw, except for you. Is that why we talked about Hellboy or Detective Pikachu?
I haven't seen.
I haven't
either.
seen
I haven't
either
seen
of them.
either. I still want to see. I still want to see both.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so bad.
Apparently,
Really?
Hellboy was
sucked.
really bad. That's what I
Hellboy,
heard.
like,
It has like the worst rating on Rotten Tomatoes that I've seen in maybe like a year.
I was shocked. Like,
Really?
how do you fuck up Hellboy?
Wow.
It's so easy. It's like a relatable character who is
Yeah.
like fighting vampires and zombies, but it was so bad.
How was what's his face? The guy who played Hellboy.
David
He's
Harbour.
fine.
I'm sad when they didn't.
Honestly,
cast
the
Ron
writing was
Perlman.
just so bad.
Ron
that
Perlman.
no one could save it.
Those movies apparently still stand up then.
Which ones?
The Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh,
are fantastic.
Fantastic.
Great.
Yeah, I really like those too.
Yeah. I didn't even know you could make Hellboy this bad until I saw it.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll watch
I
that
was
on a
looking
streaming
forward to
service.
that. I was looking forward to Pikachu as well.
Yeah.
I like Detective Pikachu more.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get on to our main event, Avengers Endgame.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're waiting, I guess, 11 years for this to come out. Or
Yeah.
11 years.
Jeez.
The summation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to break out this conversation because we have a lot to say about time travel. So for the first portion of this, let's just give that a pass. And let's just talk about how we like the movie as a whole, based on expectations, bring in what you thought, like how it finished off the MCU in kind of this chapter, how it connected to Infinity War, just general impressions of the movie. How did you all feel?
Anyone start.
I loved it. it was cool. I walked in high expectations. Obviously, you're sitting there with 11 years essentially of backstory, and now you're seeing how they want to close it. I don't know about you guys, but I saw it like opening night, so the crowd was really enthusiastic. I thought that the crowd was an awesome part of the experience as well. When you get to all cheer when they all come back together and go for the last hurrah.
On your left part?
It feels very, on your left. You're just like, fuck, this feels surreal. Like, this is actually happening. It's a very good, lighthearted moment where you're just like, yes, we're back together. Let's kick some ass. And it does a great job of doing that. In terms of how they resolved it, like, I personally couldn't think of anything better. I thought they did a pretty good job wrapping up all the different storylines. You really can't do too much. It's a 3-hour movie. They had a lot of time to fill, but they had 18 different stories to wrap up. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy feat. Like, I loved it. It was cool.
Just the writing gymnastics that they had to
Goodness.
to go through to like not only Endgame, but like this applies to Infinity War too. Just to have all those stories or all those characters in the same movie. It's you have 20 main characters.
Yeah.
Like every character is a main character, and you're having them all do something. And I think that the movie did that really well.
Yeah.
Like no one was really wasted except for Captain Marvel, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like, do you guys remember those old movies where like Crash, where it tells you?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
What? There's more than one Crash.
More than one Crash. Okay, well the movie where it kind of
The one with-
shifts perspectives.
The one with
the one
War
who won the
Machine.
Academy Award.
Yeah.
Not the one about people who are sexually aroused by car crashes.
Yo!
Oh.
Right on my list.
No one knows about that one.
Yeah,
so
I feel like
weird.
it's the MCU kind of just like expanded on that concept of taking everyone's perspective and giving them their own little story, but instead of like a 15-minute arc or a 15-minute scene, you have a 2-hour full-length movie.
Yeah, it was more Lord of the Rings than Crash, like where they broke up into little, like there was 8 of them, but then they all break up and they start doing their own thing,
Yeah, it's a better.
all converging at one point, and that's what like Infinity War and Endgame was like built up as.
Yeah. No, that's I like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a fan, like I said before we started, like I loved it, and it just a lot of fan service, and it was at times gratuitous, but it had to be done, and a lot of those people, sitting in those seats, like you said, it was just part of the experience, and I actually watched it a week after it came out, so it wasn't as like crazy, but so me and my buddy, we were obviously waiting for the line Avengers Assemble, and when it happened, it was amazing. So we were losing our minds, and really it was just us that were just going crazy, and we loved it. And then slowly, after a lot of those types of moments, we started getting more and more people in the back kind of like making noise, and of course the when Iron Man passes away, Tony Stark dies, it was just dead silent in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking cool because
Spoilers, by the way,
Spoiler,
for anyone's
yeah.
listening.
Well,
At
this point-
But
but yeah, and some sniffling, and it was just like it really captured just how long it's been, and all these people that are in this theater have seen at least half of those movies, if not all of them. And I have definitely seen all of them more than once, and I'm pretty sure you guys have too. So that being said, we were hoping, and we were going in with high expectations, and they really knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, in a lot of the different areas. Of course, again, 3 hours, a lot of characters. You said that, Paulo. There,
Yeah.
it's gonna be difficult
But it
getting
didn't,
everything
like,
in there.
Even then, I feel like it didn't drag.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll understand if people disagree, but for me, I think just the connection that I have, it was a big benefit to watching the
definitely.
movie. Also, the fact that it was like emotional terrorism.
Oh yeah.
Just there's like it was just manipulating me for some reason.
Fuck, you know what my favorite part of that entire movie? It was just seeing the effect of the snap on the people who were left.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
that's a
Just
good
seeing how everyone took it, everyone was dealing with it. Like you have essentially a depressed fucking Avengers squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And seeing how everyone deals with it. Like you have what's his face, Hawkeye turning into Ronin.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Like,
That transition was fucked.
Even the very first scene, you knew exactly what was gonna happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
From the
100%.
second it started,
You
but
saw
it was
him and
still
you're
like,
just like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, man.
Sorry.
and I
Like,
was
this is
thinking,
where it
yeah, I know.
happens.
And I was like thinking like, okay, obviously this is what's gonna happen, but then you forget that like all these people are still really good actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So it
Good
still
point.
hits.
Let's not say really good.
I mean, okay, who's not? No, I will stand by that.
No, I
actually,
love Jeremy.
They're
I'm-
good
Like,
actors.
Jeremy Renner.
Well,
Jeremy
yeah, I
Renner
mean, no,
was
Oh,
but
yeah,
like,
he's phenomenal.
I think a good percentage, like the vast majority of the main characters in
We're solid.
in
We're
Avengers
solid,
or in the MCU are really good actors. Like I don't
I could probably do without Paul Rudd, but you know.
get the fuck out of here. Paul Rudd is the best of all
Oh,
of
it's
them.
so funny, man.
So you guys done this MCU circle jerk? Can I?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
watching
I was
We were
Carson.
waiting for that. Okay.
So I do have a couple positives to say. On your note about everyone being depressed, we talked about speculation about Endgame a couple episodes of our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said a few times was, I don't want any fighting. I don't want any action or resolution. I want a whole movie about people just dealing with the effect of Thanos having done what he did. And I got way more of that than I thought I would.
Yeah.
You could have gotten 3 hours of Captain America's like circle
I can
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
therapy
totally.
sessions.
entire saga of Fat Thor. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my
Fat Thor
gosh.
was like my favorite character.
Yeah, 100%. I
He
would
was
agree
actually
with that
not
statement.
my favorite. He was like
Depressed
Let-
Avenger?
Depressed.
no, he was like my least, not my least favorite, but like he didn't hit that much with me. Fat Thor.
Gotcha.
No.
I don't know. It was
I
like
thought it was fucking
it felt.
hilarious.
I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't like it was a little
he's lost
cheap.
his dad, his best friend.
No, I
his
know.
mom.
No, I
All
get
these,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
needed to break at some
terrible,
point, and I was
yeah.
glad that he finally broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made him feel like more of a character.
Totally.
I loved seeing Tony Stark becoming more successful without Iron Man.
That was my favorite part.
That was cool.
Very, very cool.
Even seeing like Scarlett Johansson.
Scarjo?
Yeah. That's kind of like it felt real for what that character was doing. Like she couldn't move on. She had to do this life. She
Yeah.
had nothing else to go to. Captain America was like doing his little support group. Like I enjoyed all of that stuff. And then we got to the time heist, which I actually enjoyed as a premise. Like it felt like Ocean's 11 or something like this. Of like here's just a nice tight story.
Meets Back to the Future, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basically like if they would have done that and then resolved the whole story within the time heist, I would have been totally okay with it. I found the entire third act 100% unnecessary, boring fan service that made me feel absolutely nothing. The Avengers Assemble line, it was like I give it to them, you've earned it after all these movies. It didn't really do much for me. Same with Captain America having Mjolnir, like.
Yeah.
Fine, do it. It doesn't make sense. I don't care.
That was Matt
You've
Reeves.
earned it. But like, as soon as all the people like on your left came back, like, nobody of importance died in that battle.
Yeah.
You knew nobody was gonna die in that battle. What's the point of all this CG bullshit happening if there's zero stakes whatsoever happening?
Well, I said before the part where they all showed up. That one part I liked more than the actual fight that came after it.
I loved
Yeah.
seeing them all
It was just
assemble
assemble, exactly.
before
I
they
mean,
fight.
even aside from the line, like it's
Yeah, just like the
Avengers.
idea
I'm
of-
not so tied to the Avengers that I went crazy when I heard Avengers Assemble, but like just the fact that they were all there, like that they all came back, and the way they did it, I liked. And then, like you said, CGI fight for
Yeah.
15 minutes. It's good. It's good. I liked it, but it wasn't like it was okay.
I think it was longer than 15 minutes.
Well,
I fucking
it was
cheered
pretty
the
long.
hardest for M'Baku.
yeah.
Oh, that was the coolest thing ever.
100%, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, Wakanda forever.
It
yo.
was- Yeah, it was
lit.
just like the best rallying cry, I think. It
Yeah.
just like came in. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just a lot of fan service for sure. But it's like, well,
But I'm a
we
fan,
earned it.
so
We earned it as
service
fans.
me.
Yeah,
I have to
please.
say
It's
that,
not
yeah.
like they had no fan service up to that point.
No.
All of the time stuff was fan service.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
100%.
going back to those.
Earned fan
Yeah.
service,
Yeah.
but it was fan service. And I was okay with it. And then as soon as like on your left happened, I was like, I don't fucking care. There was the one moment, the moment where I was like most into the movie was actually a few seconds before that happened, where
When they
Captain
were about to
America's like,
lose.
he's beaten down and he's like, okay, I'm gonna stand up and face this.
Yeah,
against, like,
yeah.
an entire army. That was a cool shot.
Yeah,
Until on your left.
which it was setting.
Well,
it
that
up.
I can't separate those two though. Like that, that's part of it. Like,
But like, so I also really enjoyed the female team up.
Oh fuck.
So and I'll tell you why.
Man.
So the best part about Avengers, and I'm pretty sure one of the directors said this too, like it's always been about assembling, getting together, having a group like Guardians of the Galaxy. We got all these different offshoots of these characters teaming up, right? And I'm pretty sure in Infinity War there was a little mini team up as well. It was with what's the
Scarlet Witch and
the girl from Wakanda who's she has the blasters.
Scarlett Johansson as well.
Yeah, so we saw that, and it was just like all of them because now they're all here. So it probably definitely came off as, oh well, check mark, right? But it's like it was pretty fucking dope because they were all like super cool, and they all had to rally around Captain Marvel. And we talked about this too. Captain Marvel's scenes were filmed, or in Endgame, were filmed even before they had a script for Captain Marvel. So it was kind of thrown in there. So I feel like them teaming up around her was like they didn't want to give her too much like power. You know what she's already so OP, right?
Yeah.
She comes in and just
Super
murks a
important,
ship.
though. Like, I wish they would have just had strong female characters and have them in the story because
They did though.
the
No,
one
they-
where, like Mantis comes down, it's like what the fuck is Mantis?
That's true. Yeah. That was a
Yo,
lot.
so I had a big problem with that entire assemble, but not for kind of that reason, but it's more.
you fucking sexist.
No. I feel like them doing that made the female characters look weaker because you have all these different male characters wielding the fucking gauntlet by themselves, and you're telling me that Captain Marvel needs help.
Just flew
Well,
through a fucking
Oh,
that-
she doesn't really
yeah.
need help.
Come on.
That thing,
But no,
like,
but what you're saying is you're right.
You know what I mean? Because now you're saying
But-
you're saying that this female character needs her whole support system to defend.
I don't think they were saying
I don't
she
think they
needed it.
needed
It's
it.
just like
But that's
it was
what
like
I'm saying.
for
because
each other.
I think we can all agree that Captain Marvel doesn't need anybody's help. She can transport through different galaxies and destroy
Yeah.
ships. She doesn't need anybody else. But what I think what they were trying to do is like, don't forget about these characters who we've been
Building
sculpting
up.
for the
Yeah.
past
It's just so
however many
forced,
years.
and it hurt watching, to be honest. I, kinda like,
I
this
just
is-
I
this is
kind of liked it.
bullshit.
I was like, this is literally my reaction when it came on. Okay, okay,
Well,
I see you. I see
that,
you, Marvel.
That was my reaction, but not like so happy. Like it was, I'm on both. I have a foot in both sides because like it's cool they did it, but the only problem that I had was that like I feel like there was no
There's zero reason.
no reason within the movie to have
True.
it.
And
Like-
that's what I hate, like when references do that. Like the Rogue One references I talked about a lot because there's just no reason for it.
Yeah.
There's
Well-
no reason for Cantina to show up and stay on him for that long. And it's like if you can find a way to be
I
clever,
love it.
if you can find a way to be clever and like weave that into the story where it makes sense for the story, cool, do it.
Yeah.
It was clunky. It didn't
Mad
come
kudos
out.
for people that can do that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I have zero problem with the
And
message.
we all have
like
penises,
it
by the
looks
way, so.
and it was cool. Just all like, and I like all those characters. I even like Captain Marvel. So
I fucking
Fuck-
hate
fuck
Mantis.
off.
Mantis is trash.
Mantis is fine
Don't let
too.
her touch
She's a
you.
good character, but she's not a battle.
she's not-
She
yeah,
has
no.
no business being on
No,
that field.
it's just
man.
like, and I might be asking too much. Like it's impossible. They made this whole 3-hour movie, but I'm also asking them to like give them a reason for only the women to like team up.
I
but
think,
like
I think
it's-
a female team up movie was pitched to
I heard about
Kevin
that
Feige.
too.
Yeah.
I would watch that. But
But
like
it would be cool.
yeah,
But
just
how
that
again?
one-
It's like, but the thing is, right? It's like it will come off as clunky because how are you
Well,
really
no.
gonna make that happen?
See, if they made a movie, I'm sure they could tell
They
a
would
story
figure out a way,
that
yeah.
for
I'm
with a
okay making
reason.
a team up movie for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
My biggest problem with this movie is it's not a movie. It's 5 scenes
It's
that
a bow.
they tried to connect with some complicated storyline.
Mm.
But it's like they wanted to have Iron Man get the gauntlet and die. They wanted to have Captain America with the hammer, and there's like probably 3 other scenes where like, okay, we gotta have
these scenes.
We gotta have Avengers assemble. Now, what other scenes can we have to get to those points?
Mm.
But that's why I really wanted it to end in the time heist. Like, I wanted that to be the story. You can have your showdown with Thanos in the time heist. Like, the time heist seemed like a really cool idea, and then it was like, okay, we did a couple things, and now there's a huge unrelated battle that was not set up.
Would you have the characters return, like come back from the snap in the time heist?
And that's the thing is like they needed to have that battle because they needed the time heist to be successful in order to bring everyone back because they needed to have everyone together.
Yes,
No, for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
I would have had them win at the end and then bring everyone back. You don't need them to fight. I think they
Gotcha.
needed them to fight.
Yeah, but I see
So
what
they
you're
should have
saying.
just returned
Logically.
as like just
I wanted
victims that
those
just came
8
back.
characters to go through the tension of the story and then resolve their story.
Gotcha.
Because I felt like they didn't really get like War Machine went down to a planet and then came back, and that was his time heist. Like, there's no story there. And there's like a couple things that happened. But,
Yeah.
like, the time heist story was wasted. There was nothing actually happening.
You know what I would have loved to see? Captain America going back to return the Soul Stone and having to talk to the Red Skull.
hey,
They were
what's up?
eternal enemies.
Hey,
Like,
so,
what? You know what I mean? Like,
what have you
that
been
would have been
up
an
to?
awkward conversation that we would have loved to
You know,
see.
just chill
Sorry.
on his Boromir for like fucking how many years?
All right, bye now.
Bye.
Stay here.
Did he give him a ride? Like, I don't know. No, I guess not, because the Soul Stone's
Fuck
back
no.
where it belongs.
I think I'm really excited. Okay, well, sorry, that's getting ahead of myself, but yeah, I was just gonna say I'm excited for Loki's
Resurrection?
show. Yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah, wait, it doesn't exist because this is fucking television.
Wait, what?
Isn't it
It's
a
going to be a
show?
TV show on
Oh,
Disney+.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought you meant
Yo,
like,
it's gonna be
in
like
the next.
fucking Loki as Doctor Who. Like that's essentially what's gonna happen. It's gonna be fucking cool.
I fucks with that.
I fucked with that
I'm
heavy.
so fucking down for that, man. Tom
Yeah.
Hiddleston as Doctor Who? Yo. He should have just been the Doctor.
I mean that. Yeah.
That would've
Yeah.
been cool too, man.
Or the next James Bond.
Any other
Idris.
comments you guys want to talk about the movie before we get into time?
Any-
travels
Hulk was cool. I liked.
I like that.
I don't know
Professor
if you guys
Hulk.
liked,
Yeah.
Professor Hulk. Professor Hulk was really funny.
That was
I
really
thought
cool.
that comedic element was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that. He did look a little weird to me though.
Of course.
Like,
At
I mean,
first,
like-
it was like he looked more like
He's
I
the
guess
Hulk who's
let-
speaking
he
like
looked more like the Hulk in a way. It's hard to.
He looked more like the Hulk than the Hulk did. It's just I don't know. It looked. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just off. Something was off
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Professor Hulk.
It did come off as like whoa, and then he
But,
explained
like,
it.
it
It makes
eventually,
sense.
The more you
Yeah.
watch it, you're just like,
yeah,
yeah.
like that's
I like
really
it.
dope that
I
he
like
finally
it.
embraced him, and that thing that kind of answers a lot of the questions of the frustrations that I had earlier, and I think in Infinity War when he's like,
When
why
Hulk wasn't
isn't
fighting.
the Hulk? And Hulk definitely sees what's happening. It's like
Yeah.
you could have helped, but it was ultimately he wasn't trying to do it because he was scared. He was just angry at Banner, Bruce, for being like, why are you being such an asshole to me? Like you're treating me like, you know, like a disease
Yeah.
instead of like embracing me. So that was kind of like a good tie-in of that arc. But I also, I mean, for me, yes, it was gratuitous, but the scene when Captain America gets Mjolnir, I mean,
I mean, it was cool.
It was cool.
It was servicing me.
It was servicing me. And I
He came all over that shit.
I have zero
was
complaints.
happy ending for sure. Happy ending for sure.
The one complaint I do have though is that whole taco thing with Ant-Man. I thought it was commercial.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looked like a Taco Bell
I
commercial.
was okay with that.
Really?
That was
It-
funny.
Yeah.
Back to Mjolnir though, I would have been okay with it if other people hadn't like Mjolnir has no meaning anymore. If it was the first time in the MCU that anyone else had picked up the hammer, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But it's like a fucking robot that was born 10 minutes earlier picked it up.
They used that already.
Yeah, like Thor's sister
Yeah.
already like had control over it, and it was like,
The stupid
she
scene with the
breaks it.
Stormbreaker and Mjolnir and them switching. I thought
You
that
take
was
the
fun.
little
That
one.
was funny. I like
It was
that.
funny. That was just classic
Mad
Marvel
cheese,
humor.
yo.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Mad cheese. Here,
I was
give
fine
me
with
that. Fuck outta here.
You take the little one.
Though
I'm like, why wouldn't you want your hammer? Like, you're a god with that shit.
Well, because
Like,
I think
that's-
that goes back to what you were saying about how we've already been. He's already like, I'm kind of over Mjolnir because my little sister, my sister
Yeah.
already destroyed it. So I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
the new shiny one
Your
that I
little
like
sister.
bled for.
no,
My
give,
older
no,
sister,
give me
It was
sorry.
that.
such a big deal for him to get it a few
Yeah.
scenes ago when he was back at Asgard.
That's right.
And now it's like, now he doesn't give a shit.
Just like whatever.
Well, because his
I'll take
mom
Stormbreaker.
taught him a valuable lesson about
Let things go. Let me go.
I
Don't
was
save
happy
me.
they brought back Natalie Portman.
Did
Oh.
they though?
Her back.
They just reuse scenes
They
from
used a cutscene from
Dark World.
That was a little weird
I
too.
miss
Just
her.
like,
I love Natalie Portman, guys.
yeah, let's all go watch Black Swan again.
I've actually never seen it.
Has anybody seen this? Sorry, off topic. Has anybody seen the SNL rap that
Yeah.
Natalie
Yeah,
Portman does?
everyone's-
I mean, that's the best thing ever. Alright, back to
Who else? Like random characters that they bring back into
They
the
brought
show?
back a lot, like the guy who was head of Shield, all the Shield like bad guys.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the Hail
yeah,
Hydra
yeah.
part.
They were able to sneak in like a ton of cameos in this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the few they didn't get was Odin. They didn't get Odin back.
Yeah.
but like pretty much everyone.
Everybody
Why?
else.
What does fucking what's his name again? Anthony Hopkins have to do these days?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Be
But he was already dead
Be
at
an
that
anointed
point.
knight.
Maybe he has pride still.
I was surprised that they got Robert Redford back,
Yeah.
but again, I think I said this to someone. I don't know what he's been doing.
So that's what he's been doing is retiring and saying that he's never going to be in a movie.
Right? No,
again.
I was talking to you about it.
And he had his goodbye movie, which was this big deal, which was a really good movie called The Old Man and the Gun, where he's like, I'm saying goodbye to movies. Oh wait, I'm going to show up in a fucking Marvel movie.
Money talks.
What did you guys think of Stan Lee's cameo?
It was tasteful. It was appropriate.
Yeah.
What was?
It was nice.
He
Came-
drove by in the car when they went to the 70s.
Make love, not
Right.
war.
Oh yeah. It was.
That felt good.
Yeah.
Which was great because they were at an army base too. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a little.
I love how-
the scene with Tony and his dad. That was pretty fucking good.
That was getting dad
Oh,
advice.
I like
Giving
that.
dad advice to your
I
dad.
liked it.
That was emotional terrorism.
That was fucking emotional terrorism. That was a roller coaster.
Look,
Jesus.
I'm realizing that I'm just really soft.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's fine.
Solutions with the parents, man. Like that. That
Yeah.
shit
All that.
helps you, man.
Yeah. There's that,
Yeah.
and like.
As far as mom, I was okay with Iron Man and his dad. That scene did nothing for me. Like, it
Oh
felt
no,
really
I
forced.
loved it. I was just like, Jesus,
Yeah.
this is awesome. Like, yo, they actually they can say goodbye and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like.
Like, it's obviously weird for Howard, but like from Tony's perspective, it's like one of those
It-
beautiful things.
Because also Tony lived his whole life thinking his dad hated him.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like resentment towards
Yeah.
his dad.
That's true. He
So
did have
that was
resentment.
that made me feel a little bit more. And then like when Captain America was no when he was
That was
when he
really
was in
cool.
Peggy's
I love
that was
Yeah.
funny.
It
But
was like,
when
oh,
he
here we go again, another fight scene. Wait a minute. So dope.
You're one of us, the fuck.
and when he did with the whole I could do this all day thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
was
know.
like that is only that only works because they've made 50 million movies.
Yes. Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But like also when he was in Peggy's office, that was
Oh,
like
and he was
that was a
looking-
little like I was a little bit there, little
little foreshadowing, you know.
That's your girl, man.
That's your girl.
yeah. But I like
But that's like, I felt that was the appropriate use of seeing somebody in time travel because he was hiding in that room because he's doing the time heist. Like,
Yeah,
again,
yes.
it goes back to, is this a movie or is this just a season finale of a series?
yeah. I mean yeah.
It's like, it's
It's
just,
both.
it's a collection of scenes that you need to have seen other movies to appreciate as
Yeah.
opposed to one good story. And so Infinity War did a phenomenal job of like taking all these storylines and saying, this story, the heart of it is about Thanos and him getting the stones. And
Yeah.
it all weaved into that. I feel like
Yeah.
this one kind of missed the mark a little bit on that.
Yeah. I mean like this story was it was hamstrung by the fact that it had to end everything, but at the same time it benefited from every single movie that came before it.
Yeah.
So like it's you can't really it's hard to make a new story within the closing of a story
And
all these stories. But I mean like it could have been Game of Thrones. So
Yes.
just gonna say,
I was
and
literally
we-
just gonna say
And
that.
like, yeah, no, I think that's I don't want to say it's a huge factor, but the fact that you have two series is wrapping up at the exact same time, like, even though they're completely unrelated, you still have the same fans watching all of Game of Thrones
Probably.
and all the MCU
Mostly,
shit,
yeah.
Mostly,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So like, there's gonna be that comparison. Who did a better wrap up and stuff like that? And obviously,
And
we all know
and
Game of
Endgame
Thrones.
definitely did a good
Wait, hold
job.
on. time out. Are you
Are we gonna
think-
change this podcast to Game of Thrones?
I
This is
100%
we're
think-
breaking our number one rule, which is talking about TV shows.
Yes, you're right.
But
you're
are
right.
you about to say that Game of Thrones wrapped up better than
Oh,
than
Jesus Christ.
Avengers?
I think it did certain things better than Avengers. I think I was more interested in the twists and turns of what was happening with characters in Game of Thrones than I was in Avengers.
Fair
Like
enough,
in
yeah.
the one movie,
But
like
storyline
versus the one
wise.
episode.
The one story versus the 6 episodes of the final season.
Oh, okay.
Like the very last episode, that was not. It was boring. Whatever.
Yeah.
What happened in the so I guess maybe episode 1 to 5 of like taking what people thought was gonna happen, but giving them not what they wanted, but something that's still fit for the characters because characters aren't always right. There was a scene in Game of Thrones where Arya, while King's Landing's burning down, she goes into a room. She's like, "You're all gonna die here. Come on, we have to like try to save you."
And they
come out,
immediately die.
because characters aren't
That-
always right.
Yeah.
They're not always the
Yeah.
hero. They don't always win, and I like that. And I like what happened with Daenerys, and like it was interesting because I didn't expect it. There isn't really anything that happened in Avengers that I didn't expect from a character.
I don't know, man. The fact that I think that the entire last season of Game of Thrones kind of fucked every character in the sense that they did everything that they weren't doing throughout the entire series. They went completely left field from what they were doing. Like you have Daenerys, who is the champion of
They
the
built
people.
it up for a long
They
time.
built it up for a long
You know
time.
what I mean? Like,
That's the only one I didn't have a problem
that
with.
same
Yeah.
thing with Jon Snow. Like he's the moral compass of the show, right? Essentially, he's the moral compass. But like when you think of Jon Snow, you think of the North Star. You think of him leading everyone in the right
You think of
direction.
Ned
But
Stark, and
why
then
is
Ned
he-
Stark got his head chopped off for being honorable.
But I like that he made decisions based on his morals, and those were the wrong thing to do, and
Yes.
it cost millions of people their
Yes.
lives.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's true to Game of Thrones, which the whole
Yeah.
thing of Game of Thrones is people make bad decisions and then face the consequences. They don't get away with it just because it's quote unquote good or moral.
Yeah, but also
But him following Daenerys after like trying to defend and all this kind of shit, like how are you gonna like that made no sense. And why the fuck did Daenerys just kill the entire city? Like, you know what I mean?
It made sense.
It made sense.
That-
But you know why? And I will say this because, again, what you said about talking about a TV series, because the best part about a TV series is that you have time. Even if you have 6 episodes, you have the ability to really flesh out characters,
Yeah.
to talk about, have really, really strong dialogue and work the writing in. And there's plenty of criticism about the writing in Game of Thrones. But that is one thing that Avengers didn't have, other than, of course, all the different movies. But cramming all of them into 3 hours, that's a tough gig.
Yeah.
And but I think they did well, and again they kind of colored in the missing points with the fan service, and I think that is what people loved, and that's what people really were talking about afterwards. They're probably talking about Mjolnir, they're talking about On the Left, they're talking about those moments way more than
Of course.
right?
But I just I feel like I was in a theater for 3 hours watching fan service. Like I didn't watch a story.
Man, I don't know. Like,
I love movies because I like stories. I like characters.
Yeah.
I like there was none of that there. There was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of moments that I enjoyed just as much as everyone else. But I didn't feel satisfied with the story.
I don't know. I think they earned it, man. Like 11 years of story. I think they have some. Let's just throw all this fan shit at you guys now.
But
You know what I mean?
it
Like,
felt like, oh, when else are we gonna have every single character together? Might as well have
Might
that
as well have
scene.
it out,
Like,
yeah.
We gotta have that scene.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
was
But I think
more
that that's
obligations
the one
than
scene that I
storytelling.
want to say 80 to 90% of the people going into that movie was expecting or
Yeah.
wanted or watched specifically for.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
wasn't shocked by it. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hop on board 100% as well.
I mean, that's them making the movie with one hand behind their back because
Basically.
they can't. Again, like they can't make a new story. Well, they can't make a whole new fleshed out story while they're trying to also close everyone's story. So I mean, like they were in a hole already.
In a
Kind
way,
of.
I'm kind of glad it's done because now they can just tell individual
New stories.
Yeah.
and focus on that, and maybe they'll have something interesting there.
That would be a good lead-in into our next segment if we were going into that now,
I
but
am
we're
gonna
not.
say, any last comments before we talk about time travel?
Yeah.
No.
Covered.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
So, to split this up, I am going to have the first of our rapid fire question rounds.
Yeah.
Which one of you two guys want to answer questions?
Oh, let's do a quick trivia for to decide who goes first.
Okay, fine.
Okay. I'm
Um,
cool with that.
okay.
What do
hold
I
on.
do?
Give me.
Just raise our hands.
Yell it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just yell it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it not related to Marvel at all.
Oh, okay.
All the
Interesting.
studying.
Pick a movie that they would know.
Non-Marvel.
Yes.
Batman vs Superman.
Fuck, I didn't see the
You didn't see it? Okay, pick
I
another one.
remember it for the most part.
Inception.
Inception. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
You're the worst at this. This is rapid fire.
Okay.
No, the rapid fire's
No,
coming
that's
up.
no, that's
Oh.
trivia.
this is the pre-rapid fire deciding who's gonna go first in the rapid fire. Inception. Okay.
Or
Huh?
tell them to recast the Superman role now that Henry Cavill's been, and whoever gives you one that you like better goes first.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So okay, Robert Pattinson is Batman now. Batman versus Superman. They're making it over again. Who's Superman?
Dean Cain.
He's too old.
Okay.
Exactly.
Are you gonna lock
and
that
Ben
in?
Affleck is it? Ben Affleck's pretty old.
Curveball. Robert Pattinson.
Okay, say you wins.
Yeah.
You picked the one, like,
You don't want to see Eddie Murphy being
anything,
Superman?
anything would have been
You could have
better.
picked anybody. I only picked him because he was arguably my favorite
Oh, okay.
Superman.
I mean, you have a reason. It's just like it didn't hit with me. It's just like nothing
Well,
against
it hit harder than Robert.
Yeah.
Pattinson, so that's all that matters to me.
Speaking of Eddie Murphy, I saw a movie that was just released called Granddaddy Daycare,
What?
starring
Huh?
Machete.
No
Oh
way.
my god.
Yeah.
How have I not watched this movie?
How can you run a daycare if you don't text?
What's that actor's name? Machete?
Danny Trejo.
Danny
Yeah.
Trejo.
Anyway, so you're going first?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
you get first pick. You want to go first or second?
Sure, yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. So rules are 5 quick questions. You don't get to explain your answer. You just have to answer it.
Okay.
Okay. First question: who is your MCU man crush?
Chris Evans.
What?
Chris Evans. Captain
Choose
America.
one MCU vehicle to own.
Ooh, the ship, Rocket's ship.
Milano.
Milano.
That's Star-Lord's ship.
Ooh.
Actually.
He's the captain.
Right, you're the captain.
I think it's dope that it's 2 ships. Oh, I can't
Sorry,
spoil
call
it.
that really interruption. That was funny. Thor versus Star-Lord in the
Yes.
in the ship.
Oh, that was great.
Chris Hemsworth's face
can't
that
wait
whole
for-
time was hilarious.
I can't wait for Volume 3.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's
sorry.
gonna be great. Yeah, sorry.
Continue.
Pick an MCU character to go on a road trip with.
Oh, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Gamora.
All day.
I'm coming too.
Because you know his boy's coming and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, no. I want to chill with Nebula.
Recast any MCU character with yourself playing the role.
Ooh. Ant-Man, again. This is easy.
You're an idiot.
Final one: design a crossover movie with one MCU character and one non-MCU character.
Ooh. Let's do... Oh, man.
I want to answer that
I
one.
know what I
Go ahead. Go.
Let's do... Fuck, this is a tough one.
Who's not in the MCU anymore?
Let's do... Non-MCU is Nacho Libre and Thor.
Interesting.
Yo, I
Do you
wanted
guys
to
want
do,
to weigh in?
yeah, I wanted to do one. I wanted to do Sherlock and Strange, both Benedict Cumberbatch, and you would have Stephen Strange and fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Like
That would
Dr.
be
Jekyll,
cool,
Mr.
man.
Hyde?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so much
I'm
smarter
very
than
down
me
this
for thinking
double
about that.
same actor, 2 roles thing.
Cool.
You know,
I was gonna say Shaft, but then I forgot Samuel L. Jackson is already in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yo, Shaft and Nick Fury. That's a movie.
No,
man.
no, they're the same guy almost.
You need to pair him with a woman because Shaft is super sexist.
Yeah, I know, but like a really strong. So
Shaft
like,
and Captain
Shaft,
Marvel.
no, Shaft and Valkyrie, or oh my God, Captain Marvel. Oh my God.
Set in the 90s.
That's
That
no,
would
like in
be
the
the best.
80s. That's like a feminist's worst nightmare.
because of blaxploitation, like sex.
Black-
It's like the
Exploitation.
worst. Like Shaft is the hero and he's the worst.
He like slaps women. Like what the fuck?
But then he'll like try to slap Captain Marvel and he'll just explode. Anyways, I put
Let's
Shaft in too many
talk
things.
about
Problematic.
time travel.
Yes.
That was
Okay.
a good.
I
rapid
want to
fire.
first talk about the mechanics of time travel and see if we all agree how time travel works in the MCU, because that might impact how we see some of the story elements. So let's try to lock down on this first.
Cool.
My assumption of how time travel works. When War Machine said he wanted to go back and kill baby Thanos, they said that's not possible. As soon as you go back and change something, it creates an alternate reality where your reality, which I'll refer to as the prime reality,
Stays the same.
stays the same.
Mm.
So, is it a fair assumption that whenever somebody goes back in time, regardless of whether they've interacted with anything, it is now a different reality?
Splits.
Or do they have to have a certain threshold of like interacting with themselves or interacting with like this as soon as you've gone back in time?
As soon as you do it.
Because it's a...
What?
if
Do you displace oxygen molecules and that
No.
changes something?
It
Like,
just now the series of events completely changes that you're
but
there.
but if you're there, okay, say I go back in time
Yeah.
and I stand in a closet for 5 seconds and then I go back. I
Or
didn't.
take the example of Hawkeye going back and taking the glove.
but like that could even
Something
change the tiniest thing.
I'm going full on butterfly effect.
Yeah.
You're there. Everything's different. I agree with that.
I think so.
I think so. Because, but again, the parameters of the film and making sure everything fits.
Yeah, I mean-
of course, you need to have that not be the case. But
No, but I think that is like it didn't necessarily suggest that wasn't the case. Like everything could have happened the same way, and that was the case.
true. Yeah, you're right.
So, with that assumption in place,
Well, I still
In
don't
order-
subscribe, but okay, yeah, I'll come along for the ride.
so my assumption on, in order to complete time travel, they need to go into the quantum realm, and then is it
Spit out.
Hulk's machine or Tony Stark's compass that tells them where they're going?
Tony Stark's compass.
I'm assuming Tony Stark's compass because Tony Stark and Cap are able to time travel from 2012 New York to the 1970s without Hulk's machine.
Yeah,
Yes.
they just needed the particle.
They just needed
the Pym particle
So, what purpose does Hulk's machine have?
to be big enough for all of them to go in.
So Hulk had created it without the help of Tony.
Yeah.
So Tony's is a straight up GPS device that helps find you in a certain time, and you're able to find a time and just go right to it. You're able to pick.
Yeah.
Whereas his was a machine that isn't as precise, so much so that we see Ant-Man changing all these different ages because he didn't get the formula right. So Tony's was just a more precise time machine, whereas his was kind of like a crapshoot. Like, oh, let me fix this. It's not
Like a
as
Mark
precise.
1 versus a Mark 4.
Well, they
Exactly.
even said they were pushing time through Scott instead of pushing Scott through time.
I think that's just wordplay that makes it. It just sounds cool.
What?
But yeah, like that's. But
I think
you know what I
the
mean?
purpose
It's a
of
lot
that
of it
machine
suspend your
is to put
disbelief.
someone into the quantum realm.
Hulk's machine.
But then, if
Well,
the
they already
whole-
had. You're right. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
Well, the only thing about that is to come back, they didn't need the machine. They didn't.
Yeah, they did.
So
They had a
that was
better
actually
machine.
My theory. So when you time travel back, you are creating an alternate reality and then moving forward on that reality. I think Hulk's machine is to bring them back
To
a
that
different
reality.
because if you were to move forward or back, you are now in your own reality. So how do you know of all the realities that are out
That
there?
you're in the
Because
right
there's
one?
Hundreds to go back to a certain point.
Tony Stark's compass.
Well, there's unlimited
Yeah.
realities, right?
Yeah, it's the multiverse, which the comics definitely take advantage of. There's like Earth 616, and there's a bunch of different
Earth
things.
X.
So that kind of
With all this
flows.
said, how did Thanos show up at the end?
So that's
Hulk's machine.
no.
I don't remember.
Nebula punched something into it. But he didn't have a
Right.
compass, and he also didn't have Pym particles to put himself into the quantum realm.
They apparently the directors explained this because that was one of the plot holes. They said that they're so advanced and they still had Maw at the time, and Maw is like a super genius.
Ebony
so
Maw.
he reverse engineered the Pym particles en masse and was able to use it to transport
Man,
everybody.
humans are
It's
so
just like a
dumb.
quick assumption.
It's
that's
like
that's
how
what
Tony
it is.
Stark replicated the whole gauntlet that Eitri did.
Like
in
so
like
quickly.
1 second.
In a split second.
Well, to be
Science.
fair- science. Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Nanobots
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
The nanobots did
So
it.
here's another question. Captain America shows up at the end in his old version.
I didn't get that.
I didn't buy any of that shit.
Presumably, he was not waiting there the whole time because when he traveled back, he was on a different reality, not the prime reality. So he existed and got old in a different reality,
And then he went back
the
to-
prime
Traveled back
reality.
as an old person.
Yeah.
So he kept some Pym particles with him.
So he kept that
No,
same
but
trip
he
back.
shouldn't have been able to travel back to that exact spot.
They gave him more Pym particles. I'm okay with that because the compass also allows them to travel between realities. So I'm
Yeah.
okay with him being able to get back there.
Yeah.
But he
Do they
may not have
explain
been able
how?
to.
Like how he came.
It's not explained.
It's not explained.
But
Suspend
I'm
your
okay with
disbelief.
This part, but what they're now saying is that he was married to Peggy Carter the whole time, and that when he saw her on his deathbed, she like was married to him throughout the whole MCU.
Yeah.
Which is not because he married her in a different reality. He could not have been old and in their reality the whole time.
I think the assumption is that he was just off screen in any of the Peggy Carter scenes.
But
As old, I'm just gonna reference him as the old Captain America.
So he was
that
there.
He was there throughout the MCU, but he was just off screen.
He couldn't have been because that's the prime reality, and as soon as he is settled anywhere else, he's created a new reality and he's living there.
But
But he has
But
so many
ultimately,
Pym particles.
Yes,
He
but
keeps-
ultimately, in the main reality, he was always gonna come back,
Hey, yo.
right? So in a way,
It's Pez.
He changed realities like right before that scene, and he was like visiting on a day trip in that reality. Otherwise, he's living in a different one.
Yeah,
so I ultimately think the power of the GPS unit is really fucking cool because it brings you back to the original reality. So you can fuck around as many realities as you want to, but you'll still come back because it was still the same Cap that left that came back ultimately. So that's the
So
It
it was Tony Stark's compass that did it.
that did it, and that's
That's the only way.
the
he could've
woo
done
woo
it.
that we're trying to
Which
we're just
I'm
gonna have to
totally
The
go.
okay
MacGuffin.
with. I just don't
Yeah.
want them to go back and say that that Cap wasn't living in the MCU on
The whole
sideline
time.
The whole time, because he wasn't. He's in a different reality. He just traveled back.
You see, that's what confused me because I thought like, okay, so if he lived through everything, when the first Avengers happened, he was like to Peggy, okay, let's stay away from New York today, and then or like when
Yeah.
Infinity War happened, he knew.
But even more concerning, if he was married to Peggy the whole time, it means he made out with his niece.
Yes.
Ah!
Yes, he did. he didn't
He
know
birthed
at the time.
his niece, and then he made
He didn't know that he.
No, that wasn't his niece. That was his
Technically,
daughter.
yeah. Ultimately, it was.
That's his daughter.
No, it was Peggy Carter's
Peggy
niece.
Carter's niece.
Was it?
Yeah.
So presumably it's the
On
daughter
Peggy.
of one of Peggy's siblings.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
but I thought they were.
Still concerning.
Yeah.
And
no,
still,
it's totally
and still
fine.
very
I don't
cute.
know, man.
I have to
Jon
say.
Snow and Daenerys, so
No, but okay. No. So in it was Winter Soldier, right? That she was in, the niece.
Yes.
yeah.
In that movie, they explain that she's her niece. She's Peggy's niece.
Yeah,
I thought,
she's
Out in
at the end,
Civil War.
kind of.
right.
Yes, and
But-
that was also a really good scene when they're in the car waiting,
Yeah.
and they're like, "I hate you."
But when she was introduced,
Yeah.
she's introduced as the niece, not the daughter.
I don't even think they introduce her as the niece. You find
But
out
I mean, like
later.
after, yeah.
yeah.
They find out in Civil War when she dies because she goes up to speak.
Oh.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, she
When,
said Aunt Peggy.
When Peggy dies,
I remember
that's
that.
When, yeah,
Oh, I
that's
remember
right.
Oh, I'm really flexing my memory right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's still weird.
But yeah, I
So
think
presumably in the reality that he actually grew up in, she didn't exist. Well,
Sure, she did.
actually, hopefully he just didn't make because if she's his
Maybe
niece,
he made out with her in that reality too.
well, he
she
didn't know that
existed
that was
regardless.
Yeah.
yes.
And then while he was married to Peggy, he still made out with
So
her.
gross.
He was cheating on her.
When
Would
does
he been like twice her age? And
when
shit?
does
Like-
that movie come out?
Spin-off series. Yeah, so I think the time travel thing definitely is a little wonky because
But-
if you go back at all, and what's her name says it, the sorcerer supreme at the time, the ancient one.
Oh, Ancient
She
One.
explains that. She's like, as soon as you go back, you're
Fonda?
creating a branch reality. Either you go back and do nothing, or to influence certain events that you're trying to like mess up. But I think the assumption is, like you said, if you go back, now you're creating a new reality.
So
That
also
reality will
means
never be yours.
During Doctor Strange at the end when he's encountering Dormammu, he spins up like 200.
Yeah.
However many times he died, yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently he's
Actually-
able to look through 13 million in a span of a few minutes.
That confused me too, though. So, like, completely off topic now for in Doctor Strange, when he kept dying, how did he rewind time if he's
Well,
dead?
No, it's because he's in
He
in
set an
a
auto
different
timer.
reality, right? He's not in the primary reality. He's in that altered
Yeah.
reality.
He just set a
Yeah.
timer and
He's
he
in
was
the
like,
other dimension.
Dormammu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he
that-
set a
that has-
timer.
Yeah,
And
and
that
because
has
that's
no
what
basis,
he had.
and that also has no basis on the actual.
He kind of did that, right?
reality.
He like used the
How
power
long-
of the.
What if?
stone.
How long? Like, how did he know?
He just trapped him, and he's just like, "You're here forever."
Yeah, he
No,
just
I
like
know.
figured it.
That
Okay.
does also mean that the reality that Endgame takes place in isn't necessarily the prime reality, because the prime reality is where Scarlet Witch kills Vision and Thanos doesn't complete his gauntlet. But then
And
Why is that the
he,
prime reality?
He turns back
Oh,
time.
yeah, I didn't even think
Oh.
about
Yes, he
that.
does. He does. And
Wait,
he breaks
what?
his head. He like.
So, are we saying that fucking Endgame is a complete just like iteration of one of the realities?
Yeah.
It's the one though.
Woo, that's
It's-
good.
but again, it's a story.
It's still the one that
That's
Doctor
legit.
Strange saw.
It is.
Yeah, just the one.
So he knew
And in
they
that
were
one,
already
Captain
in
America
that one.
goes back in time. He
Interesting.
marries
No, the
Peggy
meta
Carter, and he
game
comes
is
back as
fucking
him
nuts.
as older guy.
I think that was
That's
the
what
coolest
happens.
point of anything.
Yeah,
That
I like
like
that.
it wasn't the prime reality because Thanos already rewinded time.
Yeah.
Well, what is the prime reality? Because Ancient One was probably using that time stone for a bunch of stuff in the past. So.
And she admits it too.
Our
right?
prime reality. Fuck her.
And she knows about Stephen Strange even before she meets him,
Yeah, she's like.
which is
yeah,
funny
he
because
is-
in Doctor Strange, she's very confrontational. I was like, no, I'm not even gonna train you. But
Well,
if,
he started
if
it.
you gave up the time stone to a stranger because Doctor Strange is telling you that it's
That's how much
okay.
respect.
Oh, he was supposed to be the best one of us, but literally 4 years later he shows up and you're like, oh, you're a complete asshole. I don't want to train you.
But I think that she was doing that knowing his personality at the time, and it's
And then he
more
needs
so,
the-
yeah,
yeah,
he
I
needs to get
guess.
put in his place for him to actually grow and evolve to become Doctor Strange.
That's how she knew she could leave him on Mount Everest. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
wouldn't die.
All I know is I want to invite Wong to my wedding.
She's seen
That's-
all
that's-
this. That's a good
that's
point.
pretty much
She's
it.
already
Back to
done
the
this.
whole, vision reality of like what would have happened had like on the reality where Thanos didn't reverse time to get the stone back. There was a theory that came out at the time that when Thanos first showed up to Earth and he was just kind of like wasting everyone in front of him, that he encounters Cap and he punches into the ground. That he actually punched him so hard that he died, and that reversing time actually brought him back to life. So in that reality where Thanos lost because Scarlet Witch was able to kill the Mind Stone, there's actually no Cap in that future because he's dead.
Ooh, I
No,
like
there,
that
Interesting.
but it's
That's
Sam
cool.
Wilson just earlier.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with that?
Sam
man?
Wilson becomes
What?
Captain
That he's
America?
black?
No, I don't give two shits that he's black. Like,
Exactly.
You can't just make him fucking Captain America.
He's not super.
Apparently, a lot of people have donned that armor.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they always like,
Like,
the
fuck
comics have
outta here,
everything.
yo.
But at least like
Every
if it was Winter
combination.
Soldier, like he has some superpowers. Like
Yo, I wanted
Yeah.
Bucky to be the fucking
Exactly.
next Captain America. That would have been dope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what everyone
I think
thought.
Bucky's
but
too
yeah.
damaged. He's the ultimate depressed
he's
soul.
not worthy.
Yeah.
He's not worthy. Ooh.
Any last comments on time travel?
It's a good thing we had that scene when they were talking about it, where they were like, "Don't worry about it," and then I would just, I just
Time
put,
travel.
put my seatbelt back on in the movie. Yay!
Yeah.
Go!
Service me.
It's coming in 2012. Fuck. No, I thought it was cool. I thought how they created all those different alternates of their original movies was pretty cool.
Great
Yeah.
How Loki is now running wild.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah, that
running
was like-
wild.
And there's
Another reality.
where the Guardians never met because Peter Quill didn't get the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's so
I didn't
true.
even think that
And
in.
presumably, when Cap went back to give back the stones, presumably he brought back Mjolnir to Thor as well.
Yes. And that's why he took it with him.
Yeah.
I remember that one on the second
Do you
watch, 'cause I'm like,
realize
what
how
happened to
many
that?
more movies they can make?
Oh yeah.
They fucked their money up big time.
Captain America, Reality 2.
Loki in
Yeah.
Paris.
Or they could make Captain America Reality 3, where it's just a love story. Or it's like Revolutionary Road with him and Peggy Carter. They're just fighting and they hate each other. And like, I want a divorce! I fucking hate you!
Nah,
That's why when he
honestly-
comes back, he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Maybe he does, like, they divorce and then he marries somebody else, and that's why he makes out with her nieces over there.
Oh.
You know, I would see like Loki just going into like historic movie moments and shit like that.
Just walking through.
Like Deadpool at the end of Deadpool 2 when he
Oh,
has
he's,
like
like,
the
killing
time
everyone?
machine and he just goes back
Yeah,
and fixes
that's
everything.
exactly how I thought they were gonna do the Loki TV show. Because I'm like, yeah, they have a huge opportunity. Loki can kill Hitler. You know what I mean?
He doesn't have time. He just has space.
That's right. He can go.
Oh,
That's right.
Okay,
He can go anywhere in the.
Damn, they fucked
Which is
up
really
shit
fucking
in the
cool,
time stone
actually.
there.
No.
Yo, I would love that.
We will end that one off. But first, pop quiz, assholes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this pop quiz segment was inspired by my second viewing of Endgame, which had about 5 people in the theater, one of which was an old man who I don't think saw any other Marvel movie because he spent the first 15 minutes saying, "Who's Barton? What's going on? Who are these people?" Because if you go into Endgame, you do not understand what's going on. So my question to you...
That tractor shouldn't be there.
For someone who's going in, assume somebody who has never seen any Marvel movie, they see all this hype about Endgame, they want to see it. What is the minimum amount of Marvel movies that they need to watch in order to appreciate Endgame?
Like the number or which ones?
Which ones?
Iron Man 1, Avengers, obviously.
Iron Man 1.
All the Avengers, really. Civil War.
Captain America 1.
Oh, sorry, Civil War, like Captain.
Captain America 1, Thor 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Apparently 2 as well, because it had a few moments. Like they went back to 2.
when his mom died.
And then-
Oh,
I don't think
damn.
that. I don't think that 2 is necessary though. Like to tell the story. Guardians 1 for sure.
The Power Stone.
No, but like Thor's mother dying is like a big part of his arc.
and the Power Stone, the ether.
I don't know.
Because it's like what do you want to tell? Like, do you need to have them like the characters explain or the storyline explain? The storyline explain is just the Infinity Stones, so you can
Just to,
cherry
like,
pick.
understand what's going on. Like, and I guess that's open to opinion. Like, if somebody just watched Infinity War, would that be enough?
No,
Mm,
I don't think so.
it wouldn't be, but it would really set up this movie. It's just Thanos Part 1, Part 2, and then it was just like the Infinity Stones is what fills
Even
it in.
Infinity War, like, they
How
don't,
about
you have to understand those characters. They don't explain them at all.
How about
Good
a
point.
different interpretation of that question? How about what are the 3 movies that you would need to watch and just limit the number of movies?
Captain Marvel 3 times.
If it was 3 movies, I would say just the Avengers. 1, 2, 3.
But
You
Avengers.
miss a lot, but
I'd put it in Ant-Man and
I
Wasp
agree.
just because the quantum realm, that whole concept, like, is so foreign without.
I would
Ant-Man
also
and
put
Wasp.
Ant-Man because it's awesome.
Yo, okay. As much as I hate Paul Rudd, I loved Ant-Man.
Why do you hate Paul Rudd?
Because I don't like Paul Rudd.
What the hell's wrong with
He's
you?
really
I like Paul
funny.
Rudd.
How can you not like Paul Rudd?
have you guys heard that there is a recap of the 22 MCU movies with what's his name recapping it like he did in Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd?
No.
Oh, Michael Pena?
That's
Yeah.
I'm so down
Wait,
for this.
what?
I'm so down for this.
He recaps the whole MCU.
Oh, I'm down. I love his character.
That's what they need to watch. They don't need to watch
Basically,
any of the
filmed it.
movies.
It's like it might get released at some point.
Oh, that's
yes.
so dope.
I love him.
He should just start a podcast.
A side note, I've given up on this question.
Yeah, all the Avengers movies, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, no, I'm going to try. Iron Man 1, Thor 1 and 3.
Oh, you're going more than 3.
Yeah. No, I'm
Just
answering
like
your
the
original
movies that
question.
Yeah,
you need
Thor
to.
1 and 3. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I don't think 2 is necessary.
You Syed thinks
I
two
think
is
because
necessary.
it's literally in the movie,
Nah.
so
Fair
that's
enough.
why.
Yeah,
That's literally the only reason.
yeah.
Did I like Thor 2? No, but
Guardians 1. Avengers. Well, Infinity War, obviously.
You could just reverse it and say which ones don't you need to watch.
Avengers 1.
Okay, everything that is
The
in
Incredible
Iron Man
Hulk.
1. So Iron Man 2 and 3.
I don't think you need to watch the Hulk at all.
no, because he's already in
Yeah,
the
you
other
don't
movies.
Oh, wait, that's what you were saying.
It was a joke, but
Actually, all the Cap ones are pretty important.
Not all of them.
Which
I
one
think
isn't?
you could like Winter
Oh,
Soldier.
Winter
Bucky.
Soldier, maybe?
Yeah.
But I don't think you need Winter Soldier.
no.
Civil War, you definitely need.
I think you need.
Civil War, you need.
Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Because it introduces Black Panther.
Is
And,
Spider-Man
like,
needed?
Those two characters don't like each other in Endgame, and you need to have some understanding of why.
Fair.
You don't need to watch Spider-Man.
No, you can probably skip that.
He shows up in Civil War,
That's it.
anyways.
Doctor Strange, you need to watch.
Oh, shit. Doctor Strange.
100% you need to watch
Yes.
Doctor Strange.
Yes.
That's it. I mean, you don't.
And where was Mordo? Sorry,
He's off, like, taking people's powers back.
cool, I guess.
He's after the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that was such a dick move too when he took it away. Whatever that
I know,
actor's
from
name is. who's a-
Benjamin
Alright,
Bratt.
we're gonna
Benjamin
wrap
Bratt. That's right.
5-minute pop quizzo. Okay, Aaron.
Did you want it to be
have
longer?
5 questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you had the Pym particles in the time compass, where in the MCU would you go?
I would go to the planet that Hulk was battling on in Ragnarok.
Oh.
I would love to be
At that time when I was going.
Yeah, in that time.
Cool.
Choose one costume, and this includes the costume, the armor, and any tools they have on them.
Stark suit Spider-Man.
Not Iron Man.
The Spider Stark suit.
What character deserves their own movie?
Groot.
What?
Pick a home to live in, and you can make that as specific or vague as you want.
Vormir.
Yeah. There's
This-
no food there.
That place sucks.
Hey, I thought this was quick.
Pick one Iron Man suit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this question is for everybody, which you brought up earlier. Which Infinity Stone would you want to possess if you could use it?
Reality.
I need to know exactly what they can do.
Based on what we've seen in...
You alter whatever the stone is.
But like, okay, when you say reality, like, is it just an illusion for a little while, or does it change
You
reality?
could potentially change.
They interacted with reality when they attacked Thanos the first time, so presumably it's not just vision, it's like feel and touch of it as well.
Yeah, no, I know, but then afterwards, it's still an illusion because.
Yeah, it's like possessing someone to see what you want them to see.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's pretty OP. Pretty OP.
Do you get to interact with what you create? Like, can you create whatever you want and then interact with it?
Yeah. That's my interpretation of how Thanos was using it.
Maybe it's.
I think he was stepping back and just letting shit happen. Like when Gamora kills him, he was just chilling, watching things happen. Like he
He's
just
standing
created a
there like
little.
this.
Well, he was dictating that like.
Oh, like
reality,
yeah, of
you
course,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
He
Like,
was controlling that
He
totally.
was controlling.
He was leading her on a.
So yours is reality.
Mine's reality. It'd be reality or time, one or the other.
Can power make me run faster?
I don't think so.
The power of your legs.
It's just.
I actually have
The
no idea.
power-
That's the only stone
Like,
I have no idea.
I think that one is just
The
the
power
raw,
makes
like
me really
it's a
just
weapon.
raw force.
It's the strongest
So
weapon
it's
in the
strength.
universe.
It's
yeah,
okay.
because they just show it as like one of the Celestials. Like when you first see it, it's just that he's just destroying a planet.
Yeah, yeah.
And in Thor: Dark World 2, I think that's what the one that they look at, right?
Sorry?
In Dark World,
That's reality.
that's the reality stone,
Wait,
right?
which one was the soul? What did he control with the soul stone?
So they never really did too much with it because the Soul Stone, like, theoretically, if somebody could control the Soul Stone, they should be able to bring Tony Stark back from the dead. Which in the comics, after the snap, Adam Warlock, who can use the Soul Stone, brings everyone back that way.
Yeah, because that was. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that. Another reason why this whole fucking thing was flawed is Adam Warlock wasn't in it. Like he was a crucial part of the Infinity War, based on the trade.
And they kind of hint. I think he's gonna show up in the.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
For me, it would just be the Time Stone. It's pretty fucking dope, and I really like Doctor Strange as well, and the way that he was able to use it, wittingly, and outsmart
strategically.
a celestial being. So that was pretty cool.
If I were to use the space stone to go to another planet and I wasn't able to survive there, would I just instantly die?
You could theoretically use it to get
Depends
back.
how harsh the environment is.
Yeah, it's harsh. Like it's in outer space.
Yes, of
Like,
course you die.
There's no.
I'm imagining Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall scenario.
Yeah.
So I would have time to go back, but that was like that's irreversible
Hey,
damage.
but in Total Recall, they had like what 2 minutes to get to air. You know, you still got 2 minutes.
In the MCU, it seems like every planet is survivable. Like
Apparently.
So are we living in that universe?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess
What does the Mind Stone do?
you control people like in Avengers, the first
Yeah,
one.
you can.
You literally just touch
Oh
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the one that Vision? He was the Soul Stone.
He was the Mind
Mind
Stone.
Stone.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
they
the
don't-
So the Tesseract is the space
None of them
stone,
give me
and
what I
the
want
staff
to do.
is the Mind Stone.
What do you want to do?
Huh?
What do you want to be able to do?
I
Because you're
like.
so good looking, you don't even need the fucking
Shut the
stones.
fuck up.
So
I guess the
good-looking boy.
space stone. It would cut down my traveling time a lot.
True. So would the
Like, I
Time
imagine
I don't have to
Stone-
fucking commute.
Yeah, like I just.
Wake
Oh
up,
my god. Why would I keep working if I had the space stone?
Put me in the bakery right now.
Do you think you need to calculate the speed of the Earth when you're doing that?
The space stone?
Yeah.
No. If it was truly an all-powerful stone, I would assume it would do that
think
shit for me.
We're calculating the
Not a
speed.
fucking sniper rifle where I have to like measure the curvature of the Earth.
To quote
wind
Austin
direction.
Powers, the sheer mechanics of it are mind-boggling.
Yes.
Oh, please reboot Austin Powers.
With who?
What do you mean with him?
Oh.
With Mike Myers.
Hey, those
Okay.
three movies
Gritty.
are classic. Gritty.
So you're James Bond.
Christopher Nolan directing the next Austin Powers.
So it's
Oh,
the
no.
Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
No, but he still says shit like, yeah, baby.
How is that great?
Yo, if he's that good of a writer,
Or
yo,
it's
he
like
can make it
it's
work.
like the Titans trailer where it's like fuck Batman, but it's like
Yeah.
yeah baby.
Do I make you Randy, baby?
Anyways, let's move on.
And the scene is like he's looking through a scope.
Yeah.
How about you? What would you?
Oh yeah.
Probably Space Stone.
It's the most practical for our little human lives.
True.
Aside
As
from-
long as you're keeping it on.
I have no need to destroy a planet.
Eh,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Fucking Titan over here.
What I would do with the time stone is do what Doctor Strange did and look at all the possible futures and find a way to have like sustainable technology that just powers the world and we don't need to fight wars and
That's
shit.
bullshit. I have the time stone. I'm inventing Google.
All right.
I'm inventing fucking Facebook.
You
the
win
internet.
Miss Universe, Syed.
I'm getting all the lottery numbers.
We're such shitty people. That's definitely what all of us thought the first time around, except for you. You're a good man.
I'm like, how can I make them? Look
You have
money
no
out of
place
stone?
here among us heathens.
That shows you that none of us, all three of us, are not worthy.
I know, we're shit.
We're not.
Right, that's right. I'd be.
Here's a question: who on our planet Earth do you think could lift Mjolnir?
Like, who exists now?
The
In
mountain.
our universe, not the MCU.
The mountain?
Yeah. The mountain.
Like from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You think he's a nice guy?
Just because his name is
Yeah.
Thor.
The Hulk couldn't.
His name is Thor, so that's why he said.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thor.
Oh, clever. Oh, you guys are so clever. Fuck
No,
you.
I think. Fuck.
Mother
Anybody
Teresa.
throughout history
She's dead.
Oh yeah. I would say alive right now.
alive right now? Because you have to think about what Mjolnir is.
Like,
It's a
Cameron
weapon.
Meredith.
Say
What? We always talk about how he's the nicest guy ever.
Oh, I already know the answer.
You know?
There's only one person, Keanu Reeves.
Oh, but he shoots people.
The Bodhisattva.
I'm
Actually,
saying
Will.
the actor, like the man,
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves. He deserves.
Nah,
He's
Bill
worthy.
Murray is really
No,
the shit
he
out
can
of
be an
that, yo.
asshole.
No,
Bill Murray's not worthy.
he's not. Keanu
Dare
is
you
worthy.
guys.
Keanu Reeves is a good answer, but probably Tom Hanks.
No, you need more of like
Good
a,
guy, Tom.
Tom Hanks is the most wholesome man in the entire world.
Is he wholesome or
Is
does
he-
he play wholesome?
Yeah.
Ooh.
that's
So he's
exactly-
acting his entire life.
He's
He's an
actor.
actor.
Yeah, well, he is, but
Matt Damon.
no.
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 Who's worthy?
Elon Musk,
Mm.
who's in the MCU by the way.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's an Iron Man too.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Ghostface Killer.
Isn't that
Iron
three?
Man 1.
Oh no, it is
He
two.
is in two. That was with what's his name, Jimmy Rourke or
Mickey.
Mickey? Jimmy Rourke.
Oh,
Mickey Rourke.
fucking Mickey
Jimmy
Rourke.
Fallon.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Kanye West.
Karen Gillan.
Yay.
All right, next question.
Next segment, future of the MCU. What do you want? What do you think's gonna happen? What are your predictions?
My bold prediction is that Captain Marvel will show up in each of the movies for like 5 seconds.
And just save them.
And just save him at the end.
She's the resolution in all movies.
No, she'll like show up to save them, and she'll do something big, but that doesn't really save them, and then the main character of that movie will actually save them, like blow up the spaceship.
I fucking hope not.
I think that there's gonna be whoever got their own movie already and it hasn't finished a trilogy will finish a trilogy. That's
So
kind
Black
of their
Panther,
formula. It's gonna be
Doctor
Black Panther
Strange.
2, which is coming out, and then Doctor Strange,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
What do you-
Ant-Man 3.
Ant-Man.
Oh yeah!
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is gonna
Ant-Man,
be
the
so
Wasp,
lit. I
the
can't
Hornet,
wait for that
and
movie.
the cockroach. Guardians
And
of the Galaxy.
Pena.
So yeah, I think you mentioned this earlier, Aaron, that they're gonna have things happening in the cosmic space, like in space. That's where the rest of the stories are gonna take place. Eventually, I think Earth is gonna be involved, but yeah, I think that's where they're going. Maybe Galactus. I think Fantastic Four. I think now that Marvel Studios controls everybody, the X-Men and everybody's coming back.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
I think that is gonna open the doors to have a revisit of Fantastic Four.
You think
Silver
Wolverine is
Surfer.
gonna come back?
Wolverine
They
should.
can't help themselves.
Yeah, they can't. You're right.
100%. It's not gonna be Hugh,
So
but
Phase
100%.
4.
What I'm hoping is that we see a new roster of characters that we've never heard from.
like a Guardians type thing.
Yeah. You know, maybe not an ensemble cast, but like something different.
I have no faith in that happening because that's exactly what I wanted for the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
This is just a cool universe. Just tell me a story with good characters. It doesn't need to be connected with
Yeah,
anything.
they don't.
And
have
then
to
you
be
got
related to
Solo.
Luke and then, yeah. No, I get that.
They're the ultimate.
When
Who
I
are
think
your
that
people?
Cosmic, I think if there's gonna be another like big villain, I don't know. The only one I can think of is probably like Galactus.
Yeah.
Like who else is?
How do you make that into a story?
It's tough, man, because he's like the size of a planet, right? Like it's like he's the only person.
But then when you get that big, literally and figuratively, like you just get numb. It's like, oh, it's big bad guy.
yeah.
Like-
because like what happened with Silver Surfer and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
that was
it's like a
terrible
it's a
execution.
cloud or like fucking Green Lantern.
Well, Galactus, he's a shapeshifter, right? He can like create himself in different sizes and shit.
He
like
has a
that.
lot of powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he is 100%
But
stronger
he's-
than fucking Thanos.
His story is tied to Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And which is also tied to Fantastic Four. So they would need to build those characters before he was brought in.
I was actually really interested in the concept of the Secret Invasion.
The Skrulls?
Oh, that is. I love that story, yo.
But they
the
kind
Skrulls.
of really fucked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
That was
they
a curveball.
sacrificed
the
that.
Skrulls were in fucking Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wait, no,
Yeah.
but that was known
That
to
was
people
known.
before.
Kree-
they
I
got-
don't
Skrull
care.
versus
Like, I'll still
Kree.
watch it.
I guess
It's
we can't
cool.
talk too much about it, but
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
fuck.
totally do it. Like I just won't have it.
Captain Marvel's worth a watch.
I wanted
for
them
that.
to introduce the Skrulls in the 90s of the MCU, and for them to reveal that a character that we've known all along has been a Skrull all along.
Oh.
And they have not done that, although they could.
They still could,
They
yeah.
could definitely do that.
They kind of introduced that idea.
But Secret Invasion would have been so dope because. But the only thing is Deadpool. Deadpool's in a different studio, isn't it?
He's now in.
He's now in
Yeah,
the
because
universe.
Deadpool
So he
was
could bring-
pretty
he could bring it
important
in.
to that, like just as a background.
True.
Oh, is
story.
it? I don't know.
Yeah.
much about that.
Like he goes to the past, then he kind of infiltrates like Hydra and all that kind of shit, which leads to the.
I think this is
Skrulls
after
eventually.
Cable, right? Because he's
Yeah,
already taken
yeah,
Cable's.
yeah.
My head is spinning.
No, like no, Deadpool's that shit. I love that.
I like Deadpool too.
So drinking more.
Yeah.
fuck
I
it.
was gonna try and think of a question, like a pop quiz, a mini pop quiz, and then whoever got it wrong would have to drink. But let's all just drink
Just
it.
drink.
We're taking a shot, by the way, everyone listening.
I've known a shot in a while.
Cheers! Cheers! Hey, everyone that's listening and that has listened for all our episodes, or even one of our episodes. Cheers to you. The shots
Cheers
for
to
you.
Illinois.
Cheers.
You get a lot of people listening from
Yeah.
Cheers
shout
to-
out to Illinois.
I went to school in Lake
Illinois.
Forest. Great state.
Shame about your basketball team, but cheers to Illinois. Isn't our whole like leadership team from Chicago?
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know that. I can't say
so
we
MCU.
anymore. I am part of y'all.
MCU, yeah, future.
MCU.
Damn. So yeah, Galactus, a lot of space
Captain
stuff.
Marvel. What are they gonna do with Captain Marvel?
Well, I think they're gonna give her a trilogy,
I think
or at
she's
least a
gonna be
second
the new
movie.
Iron Man.
Like, how do you make a story about Captain Marvel?
Okay, how do you make?
They're looking for a new ensemble cast, right? Is
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
And I think
But
a
she's
good
gonna be at
way.
the helm, 100%.
She's gonna be at the helm. You're right.
But like, she's so boring as a character
She
because
is.
she just beat anyone. Like, I'd rather see Valkyrie because she's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like,
yes.
because
a
there's
regular
no
person.
struggle
Yes.
with Captain Marvel.
And that was
Like-
my entire beef with how they portrayed her.
So I think-
entirely.
Yeah,
So
and that's imagine that, but the movie.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But Captain Marvel in the movie, sorry, spoilers.
No, it's all good.
But like, she's not that OP until the end of the movie.
Mm,
It's like she's a regular character, and then at the very end, it's like bullshit.
yeah. And then she
How
just
do
becomes.
You start with bullshit. You can't go anywhere from there.
Isn't the whole like
That's true.
her whole what is it called again? What's it called? The montage? Isn't it her just fucking up the entire time, and then all of a sudden she's good?
Montage?
Yeah, isn't there like a montage of her training? I'm assuming
That like has nothing to do with the story.
Not really.
Okay.
It's just like overcoming obstacles. Like she's always
It's
been
symbolism.
told, you can't do this, you can't do this, and then she breaks free, and it's.
Gotcha.
When
Yeah.
she's
Just now,
like,
this-
I had the power within me.
So what I think,
Yeah.
her that's the problem
Think
with
she
her
says
being at
that
the helm. I think she's a supporting character, and someone like Valkyrie is going to be
back.
the vanguard of whoever.
Yeah, I want Valkyrie to be more involved.
We
like,
could
Tessa
do an
Thompson's a
entire
great
episode
actress.
of just
Yes.
Space Jam 2. And how we'd cast it.
Okay,
Fucking
they're trying to have a
Sorry,
conversation.
Sorry. New Cap America, I'm down with like Sam Wilson. Like,
Yeah.
because he's a regular dude. Like,
No,
And so was Iron Man.
Powerful,
Or I guess Captain America.
but like you need to have a regular person that gives context to how powerful these people are. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of CGI stuff happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I think he's still gonna be Falcon. He's just gonna be called Captain America.
I think we're
Like he's gonna be the same powers.
Wouldn't it?
Sam and Cap kind of share the same traits. Like they're both, very patriotic. They're very let's do the right thing.
Yeah, and they were boys.
And they're homies.
And he's a
yeah.
trained soldier, so he
Yes.
can still be the tactician of the group.
Yes.
But wouldn't
Like
it?
Cap was in like the first Avengers.
But wouldn't it suck if like Sam Wilson in the first 5 minutes of his movie he like swoops in
Die.
with his he swoops in with his like wings and then he gets taken out by flak.
Are you kidding me? Nah, that's how I see it. So he swoops in and fucking shield like, you know what I mean? Like just swoops in and hit people with a shield, and that's the
Yeah.
entire movie.
That's the entire movie.
That
No,
really-
but I mean, I'm building on the point where he has no superpowers. He just gets shot, and it's like,
Oh.
oh
Dies.
shit!
Oh shit.
Now the bad guys have his shield.
Maybe you're not Captain
True.
America.
Everyone's too powerful in the MCU. Like we need more people who are regular people.
You,
So that's why I'm okay with Sam Wilson.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. The only thing I think they need to,
Scott Lang.
Yeah.
yeah,
so-
and that's
Scott
why
Lang.
I love fucking
That's
Iron
why I
Man.
love
dude.
Iron Or
No,
Ant-Man.
but and also like the stakes are still low in Iron Man, in the Iron Man movies. Like it's not we have to save the entire world. It's like we have to save this person because we care about this person.
Yeah.
Like that's cool, and they can do that. I mean, maybe they could do that with Captain Marvel. Like if they had to make another Captain Marvel movie for Phase, what is it, 2 or 3? Phase 2?
Phase 4.
What?
Phase 4.
Yeah.
Oh
we're-
shit. Phase 4, like Captain Marvel, cause she's so OP. Like she has to save people that are not, and like it's hard. Like you can't, even if you're OP, you can't save people in two
I
different
get
places.
what you're saying. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
And
the
that's-
Superman thing. Like
Yeah.
because Superman's so OP, he has to save his mom all the time.
The
or
problem
Lois.
isn't the foe itself; it's what they're doing to the people that
Yeah.
she potentially loves. And I get
Yeah,
that.
they could
It's
do
the same
that.
thing with like Spider-Man and shit, right? Like he can't. he's
Well,
only one
Spider-Man to like a
person.
lesser, like Spider-Man
He's
is
only one
beatable.
person and he has this
Yeah,
whole city to
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same with
Spider-Man
Batman.
story's kind of been done too much. It's like I don't know how much more story they have there.
Just like different villains and more.
I want them
That's
to
really
turn
what
so the Into the Spider-Verse. I want to turn the version of Spider-Man that dies into a movie, like
The Chris
grown-up-
Pine one.
Oh, like,
Like-
him, his story. Like
yeah,
his,
like
yeah.
his story. Like,
By the
I
way-
thought he was the cool one.
Side note, that was the best Spider-Man movie
Have you
that
seen
I've
it
ever
yet?
seen.
I saw it and I loved it.
It's fucking incredible.
It was so
Yeah.
good.
But I can't get over Spider-Man 3 with emo Spider-Man. Nothing beats that, guys.
The walk. Remember when he's walking, he's pointing at the
That's
girls.
fucking hair.
It's that meme where everyone, where it's like it's a picture of Tobey Maguire with his hair across his
Yes.
face.
Are you
It's
kidding
like
me?
never forget about the time everyone thought he was the hottest
He's
guy
the
in New York
hottest guy in New
because he
York.
looked like this
Who thought that?
in the movie.
Every
Every
girl,
girl,
all the girls are all
Yo, I
over
saw
him.
that movie and immediately I'm like, yo, I have to play Fever on the piano for like a week straight. And I'm,
Take out this. No, but okay, no. In all seriousness, Into the Spider-Verse was the best Spider-Man movie.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like it's easy. It's not a
It's not a
controversial
debate
Not even.
whatsoever.
Because they did a different character that we haven't seen before. Which is always
Exactly.
great.
Which
Yeah.
is always good.
and it was
Yeah,
a story.
I
It was
agree.
great.
And that was, one of my complaints, kind of a few MC movies ago, was every character was the same. It was like, I am now Hero Man and I'm gonna do good.
Mm.
And I'm powerful. And it's like, there was no weakness, there was no kind of like personal traits they had to overcome. Iron Man 3 is one of my favorite MCU movies because it's like he has PTSD and he has to overcome that. And he doesn't
Yeah,
have a
that
suit,
was
and it's
really
like, that's
fucking cool.
That's a good story.
And those are the stories, like, and what you said about in Endgame, how they were like dealing with the depression, and it's like that is definitely something that's happening. There's more consciousness around that type of conversation
Yeah.
in society and our culture. So it was like a really good exercise in making sure that we really fleshed out how each of these characters were doing that. And I think Iron Man 3 was a great display of that as well.
Speaking of Iron Man 3, sorry to cut you off.
Go.
What you guys think of that kid being at the end of Endgame?
That was cool.
I didn't
That's
even
fine with me.
remember who he was.
I didn't either. I had to
One-
look it up after.
Oh,
Because
obviously
one,
they
he's
did
like
that
10 years
intentionally.
older,
Yeah.
and like two.
Yeah.
I like that they did that because they knew that everyone was gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Oh yeah.
So they're all gonna look into it because
Yeah.
there's no explanation.
And then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, is he the next Iron Man? Was it?"
And you're like, no,
Yeah.
He was just that fucking kid that he just like.
It
created
never shows
Iron
up
Man.
again.
Yeah.
Do you think Pepper Potts is going to be like rescue from now on? That's the character. When
Oh.
she was wearing the suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I hated. That was the worst.
You hated
moment
that?
in that movie for me.
Why?
I liked it.
When did it ever occur to anyone that she has any idea how to fly an Iron Man suit?
Remember the first Iron Man movie when he has to take so long to figure out how to fly?
Yeah, and all of a sudden she's like,
You know what?
She's fucking spinning
I-
and
But
crazy as
I
but
think
that was
it-
Iron
it's-
Man 3, right? Iron
it's-
Man 3 is when she donned the suit for the first time, right?
Yeah.
He throws it on her.
Well-
She had superpowers at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
true.
but I mean, like, I think it's easy enough. It's not a stretch for me to assume that after they got married and they started a family and a life together, that he taught her, like, okay, look, if you have to defend yourself,
Yeah. And he,
if there's a mugger,
No, I
if
don't
a-
think it is.
Morgan comes out with the helmet and he said, "I'm working on this for her."
yeah,
Yeah.
and
She
he.
didn't have it
So,
yet.
but
Presumably that was the first time she was in the suit.
This was
Yeah.
her. What's that? Sokovia? No. The Middle Eastern town where Tony Stark went the first time. With the suit.
Oh yeah, I know.
That was Endgame was her what's the name of that town? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was her trial run.
That was
and
her.
She was just
That was her trial run.
And
But
she was
she's
just
already.
really
I feel
good.
like
Fuck
she
that.
had superpowers.
She
She's already
should've
kind of
blew
used to the
She has
the
no
suit.
idea how to use the Iron Man suit. No. What would have happened is she would have fucking just soared into the sun.
what?
Yo, Tony has zero concept of controlling
She's not
thing.
that bad.
And he figured it out. She's pretty smart too.
Yeah, she's a CEO.
She ain't no.
Tony Stark is a fucking genius, and
Sure.
he couldn't fly it on his first run.
He did.
No, he didn't.
But
He
she also.
survived being attacked by two F-22 Raptors.
He
That
can do
wasn't his
anything.
first run. He was
That was.
practicing a lot.
Yo, you remember
Yeah.
fucking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Dude,
also,
shit is great.
Yeah,
was,
but-
that was also the first. That was Mach 1. That was the first iteration of those.
That was Mach
So
2,
he's
actually.
or Mach 2. Sorry, yeah. So he's already sort of figured all the kinks. Was probably very. It's like an iPhone. It's really easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Super easy to use.
And while he
Same-
was
Same thing with the Spider-Man suit. It was intuitive, right? He
Yeah.
never used
Actually,
it before
yeah,
either.
no, that's a good
activate
point.
instant kill mode.
That was so
That's
cool.
a-
I
that's a
love
good
that
point,
part too.
actually.
Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
and like you don't know how long he was on that planet, and then Pepper's like, "Oh, maybe I have to rescue him. I'm gonna start practicing with this suit."
No, maybe it was completely
True.
autopilot.
That too.
I think it was. I
Just-
think it might have been
That's
more.
what I'm leaning towards.
take
now.
all her skill away.
Yeah, no, fuck
Iron
Pepper
Man
Potts.
4, The Adventures of Autopilot.
Oh, God.
What was there? What were we talking about?
So,
Oh, the next phase 3.
Do you think they'll make another Doctor Strange movie?
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope
I
so.
think he's like the Hulk and he's better in not his own movie.
I think he's along the same lines, but he has potential where
There's
you
some
can.
really cool villains and.
I mean, but the only thing about Doctor Strange is that he's not OP, but like you don't know what his power is. Like you know, but like the way that he's been portrayed in a lot of the Marvel movies, especially when he just shows up,
He's already like really
making things appear, or like he's like
Mm.
just tricking people. Like
I wish that they didn't kind of paint Doctor Strange so far into one side of the argument. Like I wanted Doctor Strange to be more of like a celestial being overseer, as opposed to I'm for the right people, I'm for the good people.
Yeah, him
Well-
being more neutral,
Yeah.
where it's like I'm not on your side. I'm
Yeah,
on the
I'm
side
here
of
But they
for-
could
In
still do
Infinity
that.
War, he did say he's like, if it comes down to it, I'm gonna go for the stone. This is before he looks at
Yeah,
the 3 minutes.
yeah.
So he was still up to that point. He was still that person. But then as soon as he realized, oh wait, this is how it's supposed to go down. That's when he was more a facilitator and more in the story versus like a outside observer. That was my
Yes,
understanding
I
of
want to see
it.
another Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
And I guess I hope they do it.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one.
it was okay.
I don't know.
It was
like,
cool. They had to introduce him.
The Marvel template that they found that works right now is to take the character who's like the main character is not the only Marvel character. You see Ragnarok, they put the Hulk in. Ant-Man, you pair him with the Wasp. Marvel, you got Nick Fury in. Like, gone are the days where you have a movie about one character. It's now who else can we partner to be like a buddy cop movie?
Or a shit ton of cameos.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Iron Man helped launch that, so it's like
Thor
whatever movie they're
in
gonna
Guardians
have
of the
is-
Galaxy now.
Yeah.
I actually can't wait
That's
for that. I
that's
think
gonna
that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be super cool.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you're
it's
right.
not necessarily a bad thing. Like,
And it goes back to what I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
earlier about just like this is an ensemble heavy genre now. These superhero movies. It's like, oh, my buddy just happens to be Incredible Hulk, so at the end of Iron Man, I'll have a cutscene where I'm asking him for advice. Like,
Yeah.
They got to throw in And I guess maybe that's fan service too.
That's 100% fan service.
But for something like Thor Ragnarok, like they have a whole world of characters to draw from. Like it's great to be able to just say, I'm just gonna pick this character and put him in this movie because that's what we need for this story. Same with like Iron Man, he was a perfect fit for the story they wanted to tell for Spider-Man. And for me, as long as they have story first, and then you pick the characters that make your story work, great. If you say, oh, everyone wants to see Peter Quill and Thor together, so let's just figure out a way to put them in the same movie together, we don't know what story, then that's when it becomes less interesting because you're forcing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I'm sure they can figure it out.
What
Don't-
would be one of your ideals?
It'll be a good
Who do you
story,
wanna
whatever
see?
they figure
Yeah.
out.
On it, like, as Guardians of the Galaxy is I think probably what I'm most looking forward to. Right now.
The only concern I have about that is that Thor is, like, so many of them are OP, but like, if it's a fight thing, like, how are they just not gonna win immediately because Thor is there?
Yeah,
That's
he's
what
kind
I
of OP
like about
too.
Guardians is like it's less fight heavy because like Peter Quill doesn't have his god powers anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to
This is
figure
borderline
things out.
useless.
So it ends up being more of a heist type. Those types of movies are going to
It's
be
more of like
It's a
things
struggle.
happening as opposed to just punching your way out of it.
Yeah,
true. So
like,
it's like
we
brute
have to
force-
build this and do this.
Yeah,
to
so
beat,
brute force won't really help
like, we can't just
Yeah.
because you have to go through this.
Brute force doesn't mean anything anymore because Captain Marvel can just fly through a spaceship. So
Fair.
Who do you guys think they're going to introduce in this next phase?
Adam Warlock for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Are there any more characters left?
No, there's a shit
Fantastic
ton of-
Four.
Fantastic
New
Four,
Yondu.
Silver Surfer.
Ooh, I love Yondu.
Yondu was dope.
Yeah,
So do we
it's
think
Mary
X-Men's
Poppins.
done after Dark Phoenix?
Is what?
Is
I hope
X-Men
not.
done?
I hope they reboot it.
Those like that arc, yes, right?
Do you think they're gonna straight up just take those X-Men characters?
I think they're gonna cherry pick because the same way they did with Scarlet Witch, they just were like, well, we're gonna take the strongest mutant and just put her
What
into the
happened to
MCU.
Quicksilver?
He died.
He died in the MCU
Sokovia.
in Sokovia.
Oh, didn't the building
'Cause-
fall on him?
No, he got shot.
He got shot
Oh, okay, yeah.
by
Fuck, I
whatever
forgot
that guy
was.
was.
Saving Barton.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm,
Goddamn,
so
Quicksilver.
yeah, they're gonna probably.
Who
make
do you
an
think they're
appearance.
gonna take from the X-Men then? If they ever did a reboot, I don't think, like, I wish they did the cast of X-Men 1. I like that cast of mutants.
Those exact same, like Rebecca
Oh.
Romaine.
Not
oh,
the
Rebecca
people,
Romaine's
like
oh,
the-
okay, okay.
Like
Oh,
the
characters.
mutants that they picked.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So the
Like I would love the
basic
Beast.
ones.
Oh, the
No,
Beast and
because
Professor
you had,
Hulk.
You had like Toad and
Together?
Mystique and
That'd be interesting.
those are different characters that people had no idea until the movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, I honestly hope they don't bring X-Men in because I really like what the X-Men universe has been doing recently with Deadpool and Logan, where it's just like, let's just do a story.
Yeah.
We have enough characters, you can just
Yeah.
do whatever. Like,
Mm.
let's just tell a good story.
Yeah. I think they might do like certain characters, maybe villains that tie better into, or like single characters. They'll just pick.
I just hope they don't bring Deadpool in because they're gonna lose their R rating.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They have said that they might do a R-rated Deadpool still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They have to. That movie.
Because it loses all of its like I don't want to say its charm, but
Yeah.
a lot of its essence is the fact that it's rated R.
Yeah. And Deadpool's pretty OP too. We forget he kills all the Avengers and everybody.
Like just reading
Marvel.
Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe was
Yes.
probably like one of the coolest
The
things I've ever read.
coolest. Yeah.
But I think
Right.
that they played him really well in the movies. That he's even though he's technically invincible, he's so. I mean, character wise, his character makes him not OP.
Yeah.
The thing about the X-Men though is like, I don't know how you can do X-Men without all the social stuff. Because that, like, the X-Men is...
Like they don't
social
accept us.
society,
Yeah,
like,
the
mutants.
60s, 70s, like, and we know that didn't happen in the 60s and 70s, so like, what are you gonna do there? I don't know.
No, that's true. But at the same time, I feel like in today's climate, it makes sense.
I think they've had enough success with X-Men on their own that it would be smart for them to just keep that as a separate universe and bring in Fantastic Four because
Because
you know,
no one's done it
nobody's
right.
done it right.
Yeah.
and you might as well like.
You
there's
might as well,
potential.
yeah.
But
Even
at the same
Michael B.
time, I
Jordan.
don't know if you can do Fantastic Four right.
It's tough.
It's
like,
tough.
Invisible Woman.
They
in
might have to
itself is
be-
just such a.
I feel like
goofy,
I feel like
Yeah.
people don't care enough about them for
But
it
they
to
can make
ever
it
be.
so cool. Like the Fantastic Four is fucking cool.
They're
Doctor
pretty
Doom
cool.
is probably one of the most
Doc-
complex villains of all
Yes. Yes. He's one of the best villains. I'd say.
time. Like,
But how do you
is-
get people to come to watch that movie? Like,
It would be like a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing where it's like here's just the like you have to have the chemistry between those four actors
Yes.
being so good that
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like, it works
Great
out.
point.
but the thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is that was such a huge unknown people are going into it like for something new.
Zero
But if you're making a fourth
Holy shit, yeah, it's four.
Fantastic Four movie,
Third
it's like
remake.
how do you tell people? Okay, this one's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was Spider-Man.
But yeah, I was just gonna say,
Oh.
like, we
Well,
still
they-
saw all of them.
I think what
you
they
know I
do
mean?
is
Yeah,
they
but
hint,
those-
they hint at it slowly, right? They'll have all these other movies and maybe throw in like one of them, like Mr. Fantastic. He just comes in and helps out for one fight, and then
Or the
he fucks
Invisible
off.
Woman like shows up. He's like,
Yeah.
She's been there the whole time.
yeah,
They
from her
rewrite-
dimension or for her other reality.
Cap wasn't the one lifting the hammer. She was.
She was,
Everything is just her.
and it's still Jessica Alba.
Oh, yeah. Please
Not
don't
even
recast
the second
it.
one, not even the second girl woman casting.
Please don't
It's
recast it with
Jessica
anybody
Alba.
else.
What's her name?
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara.
I actually didn't even
I almost
see
said
the
Rooney
second
Mara.
one.
I did.
I love the second Fantastic Four as like a watching a mess
Yeah.
because you can see like
Michael B.
this is the first version of the movie and the second version.
Watching that made me so mad, and I watched it for free.
Yeah.
But
It's like Suicide Squad. It's just like it's interesting from a filmmaking perspective to see a disaster on screen. Like
yeah,
Wasn't Chris Evans also in another?
he was in Fantastic
Superhero?
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Johnny Storm.
He was Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And he had to be convinced apparently, but isn't that true by Robert Downey
To be in
Jr.
Fantastic Four.
to be in
to be Captain America.
To be Captain America. Yeah.
Oh, because he got shitted on as fucking.
He's like, no, fuck that.
Mr. Fantastic. Or
I can't be
Johnny
another
Storm.
hero, but it's like, don't worry.
I gotta watch it one day. One day.
Which one? The second Fantastic Four?
Yeah, the remake. I haven't seen it yet.
I mean,
I've seen Silver
You don't-
Surfer and like the original one.
if
but
you
I
have
haven't
nothing
seen-
else to do.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, one day I'll just smoke a shit ton of weed and just watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
need
it's
to.
Lawrence Fishburne to voice Silver Surfer again.
Wait, he was the
He
voice.
was a voice.
He's got a career again.
How did I not know that?
Fucking
He's got a
Morpheus
career
is the
again.
voice of Soul Surfer or
Someone
Silver
get
Surfer?
this man a gun.
Apparently, John McThier's good.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. Parabellum.
Asshole Carson. I heard this movie was good.
It's like it's an action
I said good
movie.
things about Brightburn. I was positive today.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you that one. You like something on this pod?
I enjoyed life for like 2 hours. That's enough.
Cheers to
Life?
Brightburn. To bring the light back into Carson's life.
Through horror.
Through horror and exploded guts everywhere.
Children and killing. people.
It's such a fucked up like premise.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
It sounds like that movie Super,
Yeah,
with Bill Hader,
a lot.
but like
Also, James Gunn.
yeah, no, I know. Times
Yeah.
10.
Wasn't there a movie with the guy from The Office, Dwight
Bill.
Schrute?
Super.
Super.
Yeah.
That's the one. Oh, okay.
Also, if any of you guys have seen Defendor with Woody Harrelson,
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
I love that movie.
Yeah, because I love the
Woody Harrelson's the
like
best.
the random ass like superhero movies.
For me, the golden
Like
era.
Mystery Men. Yo, that's
The golden era of superhero movies was 2008 to 2011.
what
Maybe
does that
2012.
encompass?
So Dark Knight was in there. Iron Man 1. You can also kind of ignore Thor 1 and Captain America 1. But we had Defendor. You had Super. You had Griff the Invisible, which no one has ever heard of except for people in Australia.
Nope.
But yeah, there was just
Kick
like,
ass.
Yeah, it was also in
Oh
there.
yeah, that's it.
Watchmen was also in there, and it was
Oh yeah.
superhero movies were going down like a gritty, realistic turn, and then it became MCU and it became boring. But there was a time when there was hope for superhero movies.
Speaking of, I saw what was that movie again with the kid with the fucking ray gun and super indie and I forgot he's always riding a bike.
Kid with a ray gun and a
You know
bike.
what I'm talking about? It's
E.T.
it looks post-apocalyptic, set in the 90s or 80s.
Oh,
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
is it the one with Steven Spielberg?
No. Like the kid is just like
Black kid finds like a gun in like a warehouse.
no. White kid, and he's like obsessed with this like comic book character, and eventually finds his suit.
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid.
I fucking love Turbo
Fucking
Kid.
best movie ever! Holy shit, I love
I've
it.
seen that. Okay.
The directors of that movie also made a movie called Summer of '84,
Okay.
which was a version of these kids on bikes detective type mystery movies.
Like
Except
Mystery
at the kid, the bad guy finds the fat kid and slices his throat.
Oh!
Fucking down, man. I'm fucking down. But Turbo Kid was awesome.
Turbo Kid's fantastic, and I listen to that soundtrack all the time.
Yeah. I definitely did the same thing.
When was that movie released? Like what?
It's like 3.
You posted on our Instagram
Oh,
about
it's
that.
recent.
I've talked a lot about Turbo Kid to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Guys, it is fucking great.
Check it
So
out.
Super over the top violence.
Yeah.
quick
Perfect.
plug. Carson posted about Turbo Kid on our Instagram at Houston We Have a Podcast. So
It's
come
like our first-
follow us.
First post I think we had.
Yeah, one of the first. It wasn't the first.
Super dope movie. It was like Ninja Assassin-esque, very super over the top, like blood squirting out.
It's like Kill Bill 1.
Yeah.
It was like a B movie, but with heart.
Yeah.
And like a good soundtrack.
Super dope.
Pretty dope.
So let's wrap it up there. And ending off as we usually do, what movie are you guys looking forward to coming out in the next month? Paul will go first.
Well, as many of you may know, Godzilla, King of the Monsters or King of the Beasts, is coming out in a week from now. We are recording this on May 24th. And I really want to see it. It's probably going to be bad, but it sounds like they followed my instructions of having the humans take a back seat to Godzilla, and it's all about the monster and like the humans like supporting him.
I do have to admit, I'm looking forward to that movie more than I thought I would. I've hated King Kong and the first Godzilla. Like the approach that you take for a movie is completely wrong.
They were bad. Yeah.
But I see the trailer and I see all these characters.
You're like, ooh.
I still want to see it.
Yeah, Ice Cube's son is in it. Ice Tray.
Ice Tray.
Coming out next month.
Men in Black. Whatever.
I'm trying to
Godzilla.
see like which one I'm looking forward to the most.
Syed.
Lion King. As someone who's watched
I
that
fucks with
movie
it.
100,000 times.
Childish
as a
Gambino.
90s kid,
Yeah,
you
Childish
gotta
Gambino.
love that. So yeah, Lion King for me.
Who's the rest of the cast of that?
Beyonce.
Beyonce's Nala, right?
James Earl Jones.
Yes, James fucking.
Oh, he
Jones.
has to be
That
in it.
sounds
Sounds super different.
Really?
Like, there was a clip of him in the trailer, I think, talking, and I was like, man, he's old.
I thought he was dead.
You deliberately disobeyed me.
Everyone thinks he's dead, but he's still alive. He's still.
Wait, so in
someone's
Rogue
father.
One was that?
was him.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That was
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Holy shit!
Okay, honestly, I thought like how they did a hologram
replaced
Grand
him?
Moff Tarkin. No, they just used like
Oh,
they like
footage.
took sound bites of his words and put them together.
oh, like that AI that can like
Yeah.
take your words and like
So
create
I just
another.
looked up a list of just upcoming movies for next month, and then I see this picture. Do you see this? I thought they were doing like a gritty Back to the Future remake.
Oh.
It just says Framing John DeLorean, so it looks like a documentary on the guy. who
Oh,
created the
wait.
DeLorean.
Sorry. I
Child's
have to pick
Play.
two. Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's Play was
I'm-
really on mine.
No, sorry. Like
No, I loved it.
I'm
That's a big part of my childhood.
I'm really
Chucky,
like
yeah.
no, I didn't like. Well, I wasn't a fan of any of the original ones, but the fact that Aubrey Plaza is in it as the mother,
Okay, yeah. That's
who is like super funny, and I just like the tone that they're going with this time
Yeah.
looks like really good, and I'm excited for it.
I hope
More
they
than
bring
Godzilla.
back what's her fucking name? The girl who was the bride of Chucky.
Jennifer Tilly
Yeah, yeah.
with a screechy voice.
Yeah. Yo, she was perfect for the bride.
She's too busy playing poker now.
She's a poker player.
Yeah.
Killing it probably.
No,
Okay,
she's
so
not
yeah,
that
that's Child's Play. Definitely looking forward to that. If I have to
No,
pick,
pick one.
you pick two, you fuck.
Because I already went and you took too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Men in Black.
Cool.
Yeah.
Valkyrie and Thor back together again.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to anything.
It's also the gold again.
What about Spider-Man? Far From Home.
I'll say Toy Story 4. I'm not even looking forward.
That's
to
the one that we're not even looking forward to.
Yeah, Sporky or whatever the fuck it's called.
I like you're taking a kids movie and you're talking about existential crisis. And I'm like, that's interesting. I'm okay with that.
Fair.
Plus Keanu Reeves as a stuntman.
What?
He's like Evel Knievel as a toy.
Oh, I thought you meant
I
he was
think
a.
that's so dope.
down,
Oh, I'm in.
down.
I
I'm
thought
in.
you meant
Just so
literally.
You just had to say Keanu.
When they first said that they were going to make a Toy Story 4, I was 100% against it, and they've done enough that I'm like, I'll watch it.
Okay, realistically, it hasn't been a kids movie since like 2 though.
since 3.
They're still making it for the people who were kids during Toy Story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this might be like a good introduction for a new generation of.
Like you see that
Fans.
Woody doesn't have Andy on his foot anymore in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed it to this like girl's name.
Oh shit! Sorry, Carson. Your laptop.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right, let's end it there. Thanks guys for joining this month, and
Yeah.
thanks for everyone for listening.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Bye.